Does anybody know? Did you walk the entire path? Okay. Okay. Alright, so we didn't miss anything. Good, 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 good. It's just a short little thing. Didn't miss anything. Well, glad that I downloaded a second game. Horrible thing, though. It's a visual novel. And I have a sore throat. Let's see here. Let me change the title. We are going to be playing Project Vostok. Episode 1. That was the mystery. Let me get that up. Oh, I am going to regret this. I am going to regret this. I just know it. Specific window. There you are. Yay! Alright, English. Oh, you doing okay over there, Live 2D? English. Ah, there we go. I was gonna say invite me on to read, but my throat also hurts. I didn't curse you with shit. If anything, you've cursed me. Alright, hold on. Settings. Skip unseen. No. Graphics. That's fine. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Start the game. Oh no. That's never good. The fridge is leaking. Bear, hang on. It's not an option to go any further. Siri's voice sounded confident this time, so Bear made up his mind to concede. I exhaled with relief. Bear is a great leader, but he sure gets carried away sometimes. He is the kind of person who hates to admit he's wrong. I'm sorry, his wrongs. If not Siri, then perhaps Bear would have led us to certain death by now with his inability to step back. Funnily enough, death no longer seems to be something that only happens to others, but even now I don't regret joining the club, not for a single moment. I did, however, hesitate before. Alpinism was not my thing. I thought it is rather something difficult and dangerous. In the end, though, the so-called fragile masculinity took over everything. It would always take its toll, making me want to prove myself worthy of being called a real man. It gave me a lot of doubts. My insecurities took their roots from it, but at the same time, it became a source of motivation. This never-ending struggle ran through my life like golden threads. Perhaps, rather, I should say, it pierced my life like the spear of Mars. I'm already dying. But we will endure! This is me. Beating up a guy from my neighborhood who was pulling my leg in front of the others. This is me again, running away like a coward after seeing him bleeding. This is me, an ordinary boy at school who pulls the pigtails of the girl he likes. She, of course, then complains to the teacher, asking her to seat her away from me. That's how I understood the absurdity of showing affection through violence. This is me, the bystander of bullying of a poor boy from another class. I'm not involved, I'm just trying to keep up with the rest. This is me, talking trash about a female classmate in a friend group conversation. Among those girls, there is my first love, but I talk about her too, so as not to seem like a loser in love. However, I am a loser who fell head over heels in love, so later I burn with shame thinking about what I said back there. This is me, getting totally wasted at prom and waking up literally choking from my vomit in the morning and hating myself afterwards. This is me, an army newbie passing through hazing rituals of the DEDS. I take a hit and play a tough guy. I'm not a coward. It doesn't hurt me. This is me, Now I am a DED myself, and I'm bullying newbies. I'm not too harsh, but I still bully them, just because that's the way things are. It's me bringing a girl over to my place after a nightclub. She's not my type, but I'm still happy. I look at her and I can't wait for it. Not for the sex, though, but for how I will brag about it to my colleagues at work. Finally, this is me, sitting on my computer in a rented apartment. I have no hobbies, no friends, and no girlfriend. I feel like I'm missing something in my life like never before. I don't want to curry favor with my boss, while at the same time talking shit about him when smoking in the break room. I don't want to mess with the girls that I don't like because I realize that those whom I truly feel attracted to won't even look at me. I am somehow captivated by the post that slipped into my feed, where there is a photo of my former fellow soldier that he took in the mountains. I do not believe in fate, omens, or mystical coincidences, but the post found me exactly at the right time. I go to my friend's profile, determined to find the group he followed, the alpinist community. With great effort, I sign up for the first meeting. Showing up there, I started to realize that it was not only about mountaineering. I was quick to perceive that I had joined a fellowship. I know that each of these 6 men are always ready to have each other's back and support one another in hardship. The club doesn't accept everyone, but I was lucky. Unlike everyone there, I'm a bit timid, unathletic, and somewhat soft. However, I was told that I was capable by the head of the club, a 2 meters tall man named Bear. His faith in me served as motivation. I am quitting smoking, starting to eat healthy, working out in the morning, and attending the gym. After some time, I come to the climbing wall and manage it with surprising ease. Then the first rock climbing in nature. I have trouble breathing, but Bear and the others train me on how to hold my breath, and I'm starting to get better. I can't wait to finally join the hike. However, they tell me I'm not ready yet. And then one day I get a call from Bear. He invites me to conquer, oh no, Geisel Taiga, and of course I accept the invitation. We climb it in the group of 6. Then the day I found myself standing at the top changes my entire life. My fragile masculinity is slowly stepping back. I'm no longer looking for approval in that regard. My boss, the biggest asshole, he is no longer an authority for me. Those office rats do not get it. I'm not on their level. I'm conquering mountains. Sometimes I associate myself with John Locke from the series Lost. And I and the guys from the club even have an idea to arrange a boar hunt. Bear. Hey, Sin! You were looking for bears, right? We will set up a camp. We won't be able to use a tent, so we'll dig a hole and jump into it with our sleeping bags. Siri and I nodded and got down to business. I was a little scared at first, but it was reassuring seeing others' confidence. I knew this wasn't the first time they had survived a blizzard. I didn't expect that going up would be so abrupt and difficult. I was warned that peaking Beluga would not be an easy hike, but who would have expected a blizzard? The sun was shining here just a couple of hours ago. The main thing is to not fall asleep. If you start dozing off, try your best not to give in. I nodded back again and kept digging. Hey Fox, are you alright? After I had joined the club, I got a nickname. Fox. Most definitely because of my red hair. Honestly, all of these nicknames seemed weird to me at first, but I got quite used to them over time. Now I even can't immediately recall the real name of Bear, which is Alexei. That's because his nickname fits him the most. Hydrate, I need water. I have a soda from lunch, but it's not doing me any good. Hold on one second. Clown needs to properly hydrate. There we go. Alright, we're good. That's because his nickname fits him the most. Yeah, I'm okay, Siri. Don't worry. He showed me the thumbs up and went back to digging the hole. After a while, Siri spoke again. Did you guys see that? Siri pointed at someone, and I saw a shape approaching us. Because of the bad visibility, I noticed a person walking towards us only when he was close enough. Who is it? There's no way there's another group along with ours that might have gotten into a blizzard. Oh, I tried to do that all in one breath and I shouldn't. Finally, I saw what it was. A middle-aged man dressed very lightly. Beside the clothes, there was something else that seemed strange to me about him, but I didn't understand what it was yet. Oh. Hello. Good day to you. Are you lost too? Bear, as a leader, started a conversation with a stranger. No, I can't get lost in this area. We gazed at each other. This man looked weird and spoke in a strange manner too, so I started to think I could be hallucinating. So, who are you? Rio. You know I had to do it to him, Pose. But what is he gonna do to us? That's what I'm worried about. A foreigner? No, I'm a local here. Bear was silent, not knowing what to say, and Siri decided to step in. I'm Siri. My companions are Bear and Fox. Do you need our help? We have a spare sleeping bag. No, I'm fine. I'm here to help you myself. How? I can lead you to a cave where you can wait out this blizzard. Can't be walking too far in this weather. It's not far. 6 minutes from here. Siri looked at Bear, waiting for him to make the decision. Bear was silent for a moment. It seemed like I saw him confused for the first time. Finally, he regained his usual confidence. Are you sure the cave is nearby and you can find a way to it? Love strange albino men taking me to remote caves. Drag me off, pale stranger. I'm sure. Then let's go. Let's divide into groups. Fox and I will follow you two. We started moving. After about 6 minutes, we hit the cave, as it was expected. Of course, the blizzard raged inside it as well, but it was going to be much easier to wait out here. Nice place. Bear is very stingy with praise and thanks, so Siri spoke for him again. Thanks, Rio. You really helped us out. Oh yeah, we're dead. We're fucking dead. I'm glad. Rio certainly strikes someone as a foreigner with his short sentences and such an uncommon name. However, for some reason, he claimed that he was a local, whatever that meant. Do you live in a village nearby? Bear answered Siri right away. Impossible. There is no village anywhere near. Red flag, boys! Rio confirmed his words. True. It takes a long while to get to the nearest village. Then what did you mean by local? Where do you live? Oh, down there. Siri and Bear looked at each other again, completely confused. Down there. Yes. Rio didn't seem to understand that Siri wasn't waiting for confirmation, rather for some details. And what's down there? Bunker and laboratory. Secret ones. Red flag, boys. So Rio works in a secret laboratory in the mountains, and seeing us nearby, decided to give us a hand? The answer could be logical, but it was hard to believe that there might be a laboratory in Beluca. And what do you guys do down there? Create nuclear weapons? Bear didn't seem like he bought the story. No, I can't tell you. My apologies. Hear me out, he might be a doctor. Economically stable. Alright, guys, let's get ready to make camp here. Rio paused for a second as if he was in doubt. I'll check if everyone is there. If not, you can go down to the bunker. It's warmer. Oh, if anyone is there. I'm sorry, Rio. I misread you. Siri and Bear's eyes lit up with curiosity. I also wanted to see the secret object myself, but more than that, I just wanted to stay the night in a warm place, so, like my fellows, I got behind Rio's idea. Oh, wait here, please. With that said, Rio walked to the edge and jumped down. We got closer to the edge and saw a cliff about 3 meters high. That was slick. Rio's bounce was so natural and easy that Bear himself was left quite impressed by it. Wait there. After repeating his instructions one more time, Rio vanished into the darkness. The athletic Soot is just like, the perfect man. Finally. Guys, are you sure this isn't a dream? I don't think so. What if we're knocked down in the snow and now we're seeing things? Hit me. I stood up, conflicting, not knowing how to hit Bear. Siri has quickly picked up my confusion and came to the rescue, hitting Bear hard on the shoulder. Bear didn't move an inch, but only rubbed his shoulder thoughtfully. So it's not a dream, huh? Did you see what he was wearing? Yeah, he's got a screw loose. That's probably why he doesn't dress for the weather. I don't know. He didn't seem to be cold. But you might be right about him. He acts peculiar and talks weird, too. Did you see his hair and eyes? He has very fair hair, but not similar to Siri's. Yeah, and his eyes were purple. Must be an albino. How did I not know it? Of course, Rio was an albino. It's unusual, but not as near as a secret laboratory on Beluga. Maybe it's a lab that tests how trusting of strangers people in a bizarre circumstance are. A huge multinational sociological study. You're going to get such a good grade in trusting people, a thing that is both possible and normal thing to want. Yes. Let's see here. Do you think this bunker even exists? God knows. At least there's a tunnel in this cave, so it must be leading somewhere. It ran through my head, what if nothing good awaits us there? What if they kill us or use us for some kind of crazy experiments? Honestly, the thought I would have first had. But you go at your own pace. I decided to keep silent because I didn't want to sound like a coward. Anyway, currently the blizzard was more dangerous for us than any bunker. We just sat in the cave and chatted for some time. At one point we decided that Rio would probably not come back, so we got out our sleeping bags. Oh jeez. He showed up right at that moment. Let's go. Rio was a man of few words. His phrases were peculiar, but he spoke clearly with no accent. It was all very unusual. We packed up our sleeping bags and followed him. Bear went first. He walked to the edge and jumped off after Rio. He didn't manage to land so softly. He got to his feet mumbling and cursing. Siri went after him. He appeared more cautious and didn't jump right away. Instead, he carefully touched the ledge with his foot and deftly went down the wall. Sometimes Siri was so vigorous and moved so gracefully that it was hard to believe that he would soon hit his 60s. I quickly adopted his technique. Come here. Rio entered the tunnel and we followed him. Soon the tunnel turned into a corridor, and finally, Rio stopped and turned on the light by flipping the switch. We looked around, surprised, unable to believe that we really ended up in an underground bunker. I felt like we were in some kind of post-apocalyptic movie. Warning! Please pay attention. Externals are not allowed to be here. You need to be undetected. You can spend the night here, but you must leave immediately when the blizzard ends tomorrow morning. There are 3 doors in here. On the left, there is a large room, not in use. You will spend the night in it. On the right, a smaller room used for a storage area. There is some food in there. You can eat right now, but go straight to the large room afterwards. Behind the third door, there is a rest hall. There is a toilet. You can go there. But I have to escort you there. Then I'll close the door. Do you understand? Rio had a peculiar language, using uncommon words like external, but we all got what he was saying. Thanks, man. Motherland won't forget you. Oh, I have a glossary. Interesting. Ah, I see. Oh, okay. Okay, very cool. That's nice. That is very nice. Bear patted... Oh, no, he didn't like that at all. Bear patted Rio on the shoulder as a friendly gesture, but he trembled with fear. Bear probably terrifies him a little, like he terrified me when I first met him. My pleasure. And it's not for the motherland. I just wanted to help out. Rio kept surprising me. Doesn't he know such common phrases? Let's go eat something, shall we? I'm kind of curious of what they serve in secret bunkers these days. Oh, pipes. Large pipes. Oh, shit. I meant to just... Hold on one second. Audio, music. Okay, there is music. And there is sound. I just wanted to make sure... Save that. That it was actually working. Son of a... Ah, I clicked it again. They shared the food. He particularly enjoyed the smoked sausage, so Siri gave away the remaining half. Here, take it. It must be hard for you to live in the bunker without fresh meat. After we had dinner, we went to the toilet by turn. I went first, and when I came back, I went straight to the room. Then I took out a sleeping bag and passed out right after I got in. I was expecting there to be more noise, so I was a little bit concerned when there wasn't. I didn't have much luck getting a nice sleep, though. I woke up from someone shaking me by my shoulders. Uh-oh. I opened my eyes and it was pitch black. I barely recognized Rio's face. What the fuck do you want? I guess that was too rude, but I truly hate being woken up in the middle of the night, especially in this way. We have problems. It's serious. Rio looked very nervous. My anger gradually began to give way to anxiety. Calm down, okay? Tell me what happened. Rio took a deep breath and seemed to regain his composure. Your friends got up at night. I don't know why. Maybe they couldn't sleep. They went to the warehouse. They sat there. They talked. I was sleeping, but I heard them. I didn't want to disturb them. Then I fell asleep. I woke up because I heard my sister's voice. Your sister lives here too? Does your whole family work here? Yes, you could say that, but it doesn't matter. Then what does? That they stayed with her in the room. I calmed down. I guess now I understand what's going on. Are you worried about your sister? Look, there is no need to. I know my friends aren't necessarily very courteous, and Bear is a scary-looking guy himself, but they wouldn't hurt a fly. They wouldn't have done anything to your... You don't understand. Not them. Uh-oh. She. To them. I stared at Rio, trying to understand what he meant by that. Is this some kind of prank? What is a prank? Are you kidding me? If this is some stupid joke, then I don't find it funny at all. I understand that you helped us out with the bunker, and I appreciate that. I don't get it, though. Why would you wake me up like this in the middle of the night to tell me that? How on earth are two grown-ass men... I'm sorry. She took him to Twilight Lake. How on earth are two grown-ass men can be in danger being left alone in a room with some girl? I am not kidding. You do not know my sister. Rio's look was confirming what he was saying. He wasn't joking. I could see the fear on his face. Either this guy was crazy, or Siri and Bear really are in danger. Actually, one doesn't exclude the other. I remember my guesses about mad scientists doing creepy experiments here. So what are we waiting for? Let's go rescue them. No, it's too late. I heard the screams a little earlier and then silence. We can only save you now. Let's go to the exit before anybody... Oh no! Rio kept saying something, but I wasn't listening to him anymore. I grabbed my ice axe from my backpack as I ran into the hall. Man, is this one hell of a cold opening or what? I think. The first thing I saw was a pool of blood. Apparently the blood leaked from the gap between the door and the floor. At first I underestimated the real level of the threat and hoped for the best, but now I fully realized how fucked up this is. I tried to open the door, but I couldn't. Then I started slamming it. Open up! If you did something to my friends, I'll kill you. I don't care who you are, I'll kill you all. For some reason, I wasn't afraid. I was ready to fight anyone. There was one thing in my head. If Bear and Siri are alive, then I must save them. If not, I shall take revenge. What are you doing? Shut up! Stop yelling! They'll hear us! They'll kill you and me too. Maybe me too. I don't care. There was no luck breaking the door by hand, so I started hitting it with my ice pick. They've been murdered. Do you understand? They can't be saved. That's it. Go. Escape. Enough. Enough! Rio kept screaming, but I ignored him in attempts to open the door. Haha, the blizzard was the cold opening. Suddenly I heard another voice. Hands up and turn your backs on me, boys. I saw an old man in the darkness. When I looked towards the voice, he had a gun in his hands. Are you deaf or something? Turn your backs on me. Rio complied with his words. I did too. After a bit of thinking, if I refuse to do it, he'll shoot me right away. I won't save anyone, and I won't take my revenge. Hands up now. You, redhead, drop the ice pick first and then raise your hands slowly. I dropped the ice pick to the ground reluctantly, trying to keep it in sight. Number 11, what did I tell you about guests? Wasn't the last time enough for you? My God, Rio looks so frickin' zooted right now. Professor, don't call me that, please. I asked you for a lot of things too, number 11, but you never listened to me. Professor, this is the last time. They didn't see much. They would have left in the morning. Then what's with the pool of blood on the floor, huh? You look like Archie from Riverdale. Tragic. Ah! That's number 13. She messed up again, as usual. I'll talk to her later, but you're the one to blame in the first place. What's not clear about the no guest rule? This won't happen again. I apologize. Let him go, please. Are you dumb? I don't understand. How can I let him go after he's seen everything? He won't tell anyone, right, Fox? From the voice of the old man, I knew that he was not going to let me go, and running away from here without taking revenge wasn't part of my plan anyways. Still, I decided to go along with Rio. Yes, I swear not to tell anyone. The professor burst into laughter. Am I supposed to trust you? I never trust bastards like you. The next thing I know, you're running to report stuff to the militia? I'm assuming the military police. Is the name of the police? Yay, I was right. The militia. And the media. While he was speaking, I was able to estimate the distance between us. It would take one successful jump to defeat him. It's most likely that he will shoot, but if I have any luck, I may have the momentum to grab the gun earlier. I may not be able to grab my ice axe, but this shouldn't be a problem. Even though the professor doesn't seem too old, he has no chance in hand-to-hand combat against me. Confetti sure does know a lot of Russian. Sus. After thinking everything through, I turned around and I jumped. The first thing I saw when I turned around was the professor's confused face. Then I focused on my eyes on the gun and realized why he was confused. His fingers were off the trigger. That meant I had a chance of success. However, my jump wasn't successful because at the very last moment, someone grabbed me by the collar of my jacket. The confusion on the old man's face was replaced by a smile. Well done, Rio. He returned his finger to the trigger and pulled it in no time. Uh-oh. Chapter 1, Nick. What a good cold opening. Confetti. I gave up trying to escape a long time ago. Now that my hands hurt, that I can't bend my fingers, I stand no chance of lifting the plane splinter which was pressing me down. I should have lifted it right away when it crushed me, but it was heavy. Screaming is probably pointless too when you're surrounded by nothing but mountains and snow. What was even worse was that the woman next to me died because of the aircraft wreckage crashed into her. As a result, I was lying 20 centimeters away from a corpse. Hey, Gibby! I didn't care about her at first. My indifference was even shocking to me, but then it might have just been the adrenaline rush that kept me distracted. I knew that because, after some time, reality hit me like a ton of bricks. I tried not to look, but I still unwittingly glanced at her direction from time to time. I helped toss her suitcase into the overhead locker on the plane before taking my seat. I remember her face. It was a woman about 50 years of age. It's hard to tell now after the piece of splinter pierced her head and her whole face was covered in brown, dried blood. Check up some? Oh. I got off much easier. I didn't get any serious injuries, yet I'm no longer sure about the latter. First, I didn't feel any pain at all, but my arm began to bother me. I'm probably running low on the body's natural painkillers. My mental state seems to be deteriorating. The first couple of minutes, I was upset that I won't be able to get home for Kushia's birthday because of all this bullshit. Now I just hope somebody would find me. I'm sure they've already sent a team of helicopter rescuers to find us, or whoever they send in on such accidents. The problem is that by the time they find me, I'll have frozen to death. I have almost missed my plane. My mom called me to make sure I didn't oversleep. I did, of course. And I got ready at the speed of light and made it in 5 minutes before the end of registration. Perhaps if my mom trusted me and wouldn't call to remind me of my flight, I would have avoided the whole situation. I would have somehow managed to get money from my dad for the new tickets and got on the night flight. I've been wondering what my parents might be doing at that moment. I can only imagine how bad they might be feeling right now. Father, most likely, didn't have time to come to the airport himself as always and sent a driver. Either way, I didn't care much to take offense at this. First and foremost because my father's driver, Uncle Zenya, was an expert in two matters, football and corny jokes. Both of these matters were rather dear to me, and I would always enjoy a ride home with him. My mom always calls my dad or Uncle Zenya about 15 minutes after landing to make sure everything is okay. Moreover, she tracks the landing time on the airport's website, so when I get the call that I am already sitting in the car giving the flylight, I don't wait for luggage. I need another drink. Excuse me. I wonder what it says on the airport website right now. Flight has been delayed? Flight arrival time unknown? Or maybe the flight you are interested in has crashed in some wasteland. Passengers are either dead or about to die lying under aircraft wreckage. We are so sorry for the inconvenience. When I said the words, sorry for the inconvenience in my mind, I shuddered. I heard something similar by the pilot before we crashed. I'll probably get flashbacks of this phrase for the rest of my life now. Hey, Billy! How's my favorite trash can? I just heard some sounds. Did I? Where's Freddy Fazbear? Is anyone alive? Freddy Fazbear can't save us now. I could hear what they were saying, but I failed to shout back. I made some inarticulate wheezing because of the splinter. My movements were limited, so I couldn't even turn my head towards the sound. Guess there's no one. Hey, what do you mean, no one? How about you come and see? They might just be lying unconscious. Let's get closer. I like that guy more. Come and help me lift this piece of iron. They tried to move the wreckage. There's no way we can lift it. What the fuck did you want? 46 tons? What the fuck did you want? 46 tons, I almost added but held back. So instead of quoting the punchline of Uncle Zenya's favorite joke about the proporshtik, I'm so sorry for any Russian viewers. I can't, I'm gonna fail. I mumbled something like, help, I'm cold. Is a rank by Russian army users, is a Russian joke. Ah, gotcha. One haunted animatronic is the equivalent of 50 sled dogs. He can save anything. It sounded pathetic, but I was freezing. Mark, there's a survivor. Yeah, I heard him. Are you hurt very badly? I don't think so. Good. We need to get some help. We can't lift without help. We can. Let's try one more time. We might be able to pick it up, but we can drop it. We better not risk it. Okay, you're right. Let's go then. Is it far from here? Not really. Why? I didn't feel like waiting a long time, obviously. Not the biggest fan of waiting at all. Not to mention waiting for another couple of hours in the company of a dead woman. No, nothing. No worries, man. We'll be right back, okay? I'm sorry, I skipped. We'll be right back. Hang on, okay? What is this? This is the... What did I title it as? The Project Vostok, Episode 1. No worries, man. We'll be right back. Hang on, okay? How about I stay here with him and you go back and get anyone real quick? Sounds like a plan. Apparently the guy named Mark heard my thoughts. You remember the trail, right? I got this. Mark sat next to me. I couldn't see his face from under the debris, only his feet. Is he coming soon? Yes, it's about a 7-minute walk from here to the main part of the plain. Good. What's your name? Nick? Is that your full name? No, full is Nikolai. I see. I'm Mark. Yeah, I heard it. Are you a rescuer? No, just a passenger. Rescuers haven't arrived yet. We're trying to help out those who are hurt. Got it. It's good that some didn't get hurt, but it's still a pity that you're not a rescuer. Yeah, I know. Who's next to you? Woman. She's dead. I see. We stood silent for a while. How many survivors are there? I don't know yet. Most of those who were on the back section of the plane survived. Almost everyone died on the front section. You're one of the first alive among them. Yeah, lucky. This is a horror game. Yes, it is. We got silent again. They're coming. Then I heard male voices. Come on, we shall lift it from all the edges. Can you come out if we pick it up? We can't be holding it for long. I think so. My legs are okay. That's good. On the count of 3, guys. 1, 2... Wait, I need to hold on to it again. Let's start over. Okay, 1, 2, 3. They lifted the splinter high enough and I hurried to crawl out. It was not so easy. My legs were almost numb and frozen through. I didn't get injured in the accident. Though I didn't get injured in the accident. As soon as I crawled away, one of them ordered me to let go. I barely managed to get up and tried to shake out the snow off my collar. I almost lost my balance at some point, but a fair-haired guy, who I don't know the name of, helped me to stand on my feet. Thank you. No worries. Hold on for now. Don't move too quickly. I felt a little better after some time. At least my legs would start to obey me again. Damn! Hi! Who the hell are you? What was that about a woman? Shouldn't we get her as well? I guess we should. We piled the rest of the bodies next to the plane. We can't get her. We can. With the boy it was harder because we had to keep him undamaged. Let's just drag it away then. You guys pick it up and I'll pull the body out. Wild Mountain Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves, my bad. Can you do it? Yeah, it's fine. Well, let's do it then. Ready? Yes. Russia. And you? Ready. 1, 2, 3. The body was heavier than I thought, but it was easier to pull it on the snow, so I did. Two of them winced seeing the corpse, while the other two looked indifferent. Two types of people in the minibus, the emotional ones and the insensitive half. This dating sim is getting wild. Vitya, grab the legs, let's go. Maybe we'll leave it for now? Why? Well, we have better things to do right now. Maybe we'll be back to check on the carry-on luggage so we can do it then. All agreed with what Vitya offered. If we're going back, we need someone to remember the way back to this place. I know the way. Okay, let's get going then. Maybe we can get to know each other first? What's your name? I'm Nikolai. Call me Nick. I'm Andre. This is Vitya, and this is Vadim. Mark has already introduced himself, probably. Yeah, we had a chat. Lovely to meet you. Men don't say lovely to meet you to each other. That's for chicks. Okay, Vadim. God. What do they say then? Nice to meet you is okay. Well, live and learn. After this etiquette lesson, we moved towards the plane base. During this time, I managed to observe my companions in misfortune. There was nothing exceptional about Mark or Andre's appearance, except for the difference in height that caught my eyes while they were walking along together. Their personalities also seemed dissimilar to me. Mark looked thoughtful and silent, and Andre seemed super sociable and friendly. Vitya and Vadim, on the other hand, looked pretty colorful. The first one looked like either a Kurt Cobain with tan skin or Jesus who joined a bike club. Also, Vitya was so hot that he wouldn't even bother to find a long-sleeve shirt before walking around in the forest. Vadim looked like he was an athlete, rather a very stereotypical one. Ripped body and pumped-up muscles, tracksuit, the studious expression on his face, and of course, his way of picking on my words made him look like the typical country gopnik. I'm sure delinquent subculture in former Soviet republics. Ah. Mountain rescue just too gay for Russian men. Ah, the Alps. One day you're introducing yourself to your fellow survivors. A week later, you're eating them. Let's hope not. Though, who do you think will resort to cannibalism first? It sure will be interesting to know what type of sport he plays. I bet it's wrestling. On the way back, Andre, Vitya... Actually, chat, you know, Billy, you said it dating sim, but there is an 18+ content DLC for this game. So, I don't know. Like, we might be macking on some people. I have a feeling that if any macking is to take place, it's only going to be on ladies, but you never know. Also, I don't know if there's 18+ content in here. It said the 18+ content only, which makes me feel like, oh, you're just downloading the pictures? So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you download like the 18+ content to see the naked boobs, or if you download it so you just have pictures of the naked boob scenes. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Did I download a hentai game? Maybe. I guess we'll find out together. Confetti is playing an H game without the H. The H stands for hilarious. Bob's and Vagine stream. I know, right? We'll find out. But yeah, if so, we should definitely try and seduce Keanu Reeves. Mark was quiet, mostly after a while. He turned to me. It looks like your hand is bleeding. Did you get hurt badly? Mark is the sensitive type, guys. He's the real sensitive soul. No, it's just a scratch. Anyway, have Lisa look it over. But Vitya is the rugged bad boy. Oh my gosh. Sure thing. And who's Lisa? A doctor? Mark is lame and says, think chicks say? No, that's Vadim. Oh, no, you says things chicks say. Gotcha. The sensitive man who points out that you're bleeding. Hey, he offered to bandage it for me. Almost. A medical student. Lucky to have a doctor among us. At least a novice one. She volunteered to help the wounded before the rescuers arrived. And then there's Andre. The golden retriever of the group? I think without the patch, it's fade to black when it's those scenes. Guess we'll know if you have your channel come morning and hear shit, and then the stream immediately cuts and the VOD is nuked. No kidding. Have you tried to call? Does the connection work here? We did, right after the accident. There is no service, but you can try it yourself. Maybe you'll get lucky with your operator. I took the phone out of my jacket pocket. The screen cracked, but it worked. Mobile connection was down. No service. Well, worth a try. Oh, and you're at half life, too. That ain't good. Better turn it off for now. We'll be trying to get a connection, so save up the battery. I took Mark's advice. There's the plane. We reached the makeshift camp. We walked for exactly 7 minutes, just like Mark said. However, due to the snow and cold, 1 minute of the walk was 2 or 3 times more tiring than it would have been in fair weather. Half-Life 2? No, sadly not. I went into the plane, or what's left of it, to be more precise, and looked around. There are not so many people here. There were 9 survivors, including you. 3 of them are injured. Those who are intact are now looking out for the others. Everyone except Lisa. Oh, there she is. Probably one of the objects of our possible affection. Hearing her name, the girl turned around. Lisa turned out to be a young blonde, probably in her early 20s. You found another one from the front? He's the only one who got lucky so far. The person next to him died, and he only got some scratches. But will you check him out just in case? Yeah, sure. One moment. Have a seat. I sat on a chair. It was cold, but compared to lying on the snow, it was much more pleasant. I need help from 1, or better yet, 2. Mark and Vitya. Maybe you can help him out? Vadim and I will walk around a little bit more to look for someone else. No problem. But I understand she's a waifu, but maybe I wanted, you know, bone down with sexy Russian Keanu Reeves in the snow apocalypse. Well, it looks like she has an 18+ patch. But what about the guys? I'm just saying, is it just the girls or do we get fair representation? We were already talking about how bad toxic masculinity is. Yeah, it's Pride Month. You gotta go gay. At the very least, let me bone down 2 of them. It's Pride Month. No problem. I sat still for about 10 minutes. I began to feel drowsy since I was getting more comfortable and it felt safer and warmer inside the plane. I closed my eyes, both because I was tired and didn't want to look on the corpses of the dead people laid out in front of the plane, as well as the wounded ones laying on a pile of rags in the back of the plane. However, closing my eyes would not help much. I could hear groans from time to time. Wakey, wakey, it's time for school. A few minutes later, I heard Lisa's voice. Guys, now I will need your help with the wounded. We need to organize all the medicines we have, and the wounded need drinking water too. Everyone needs water. We're in the mountains, luckily, not in the desert. We have snow. Yeah, but you can't just take it and drink it. You'll get frostbite. Well, that's why you boil it. Start a fire! Come on, guys! How rude, don't the survivors know you're trying to sleep? Come on, man, it's time for school. Bang, kill, marry the game. Do you think... Okay, if anybody strikes me as a repressed gay, it's Vadim. Do you think... Do you think... Our options are Vadim, Russian Keanu West, the Golden Retriever, and the sensitive, quiet one. I suggest setting a fire to melt it down. Someone help me. The rest of us can work on warming up the aircraft. I can help with the fire. Lisa looked in my direction. She seemed to have forgotten about my existence while she was busy with the wounded. I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Lisa. What's your name? Nick. Nice to meet you, Nick. How old are you? Oh, Lisa is cute, though. Sensitive and quiet. If he murders us, he'll at least make it a work of art. Or he'll crack and try and eat us. You never know. 50. Oh, what the hell? Never mind then. Fuck. What? Damn it. I'm out. 15, and you? We're 15? No! My counter question seemed to have taken her by surprise for some reason. I'm 23. Wait a second! Are you telling me that in this game a 15-year-old can smash a 23-year-old? Ugh! Pack it up, everybody. Pack it up. None of us are getting laid in this game. Let me examine you, okay? What is bothering you? Maybe you're 18 in the 18 plus version? That just makes it sadder, though, and the 18 plus content might be gore or something. That's the horror. The horror is none of us are getting laid in this. No one's getting laid for Pride Month in this game. Damn it, I really had my heart set on sexy Keanu Reeves. Maybe Nick will die. Maybe Nick will die. You think maybe we'll get lucky and Nick will die and we'll get another protagonist who's of 18 or older? I'm fine, actually. Don't act like hero. This is not the time right now. Make sure to tell me if something hurts. I think I hurt my left arm with a splinter, but it's nothing. What if it's Vadmir and Keanu off screen? You know what? I'll take that. I will take the two muscular dudes banging off screen. I would have appreciated being in the middle of that, but fuck me, I guess. So much for Pride Month. Your sleeve is all in blood. Let me see. She touched my arm in several places. I didn't feel anything at all at first, but then I flinched with unexpected pain from another touch. I looked it up and it is a sex patch. No, not fuck you. You're not a part of it. Ah. Alright, so what? Is like the 18 plus patch, does that make us 18 years old then? I hope. God, I hope. Does it hurt badly? It's bearable. You're okay. It wouldn't be bearable if it was a fracture or a dislocation. Now I need you to take off your jacket and roll up your sleeve. I almost regretted telling her about my micro-trauma. My hand had stopped bothering me. But still, I obeyed her orders reluctantly. It just shows pick up. Ah, damn it! We don't even get the other part for Pride Month? Damn. I'm gonna make it up to you guys. I'll make it up to you tomorrow. I will find the gayest game I can, I promise. For Pride Month. The checkup didn't last long. You're alright. The wound is shallow. It would be nice to treat it, but we will do that right after we find my first aid kit. Where could that be? It was in my suitcase, which was in the luggage section, and I don't know where that is now. 811? I nodded. Please, reach out to me if you have any complaints, okay? It won't be easy for me without a first aid kit, but I'll do my best. The real horror of the horror game is the fact that we're not getting laid. Super gay. Oh, I'll look it up. There are a couple of others that I've had on the back burner that are super gay. After thanking Lisa for the checkup, I joined Mark and Vitya in search of branches for the fire. We had a lot of work to do. How dare they put sexy Keanu Reeves in front of me and just deny me like that? I can't believe them. The woman who was supposed to be interrogating me looked pretty tired. She quickly read me my rights and my rights, and right after that, she suggested starting. Kira, here is what I say. First, you tell me everything you know, and then we both put it down on a piece of paper. Sounds good. Despite this friendly tone of the investigator, I felt quite uncomfortable. Most of my classmates came here with their parents, but my mom and dad were too busy working. It made me mad again thinking about it. Tell me, how did you find her? We started the conversation with the most unpleasant and, in my opinion, meaningless question. The crime scene investigators had already examined the scene. What else did they need to know? However, I decided to tell her everything, including the smallest details. What if my testimony actually helps them find the murderer? I have a couple of gay games, but not like guy gay, they're girl gay. I have a couple of girl gay games too. But I want options! The last game I played that gave me options was Boyfriend Simulator, but I'll see. I'll see what I can dig up. It'll be even better if it's horror. I took a deep breath and we started. I was walking Hiki, my husky dog. I call her that because she doesn't like to walk very much. She only lasts about 10 or 15 minutes walking and then starts asking me to take her home. Anyway, I guess that's not important. Most of the time, I take her for a walk in the morning and my mom or dad walk her in the evening. That day they were staying late at work and Hiki was whining, so I took her out. Continue, please. In the morning, I'm usually in a hurry to get ready for school, so I take her out for a walk inside the neighborhood for a little. When I take her for a walk in the evening, I like to walk around the city, especially when the weather is nice. So how far away did you go from home? Well, not very far. I went towards Lena's house, a 12-minute walk for us. Why did you decide to go that way? I thought I'd visit her. She wasn't returning my text messages. What is your relationship with her? We're friends. I hesitated for a moment. I couldn't get used to speak about Lena in the past tense. We were friends. Not very close ones. But I would hang out with her and Nadia most of the time. We often texted each other. I want to speed run this game and see what the patch do. Was it a common occurrence that she wouldn't reply to your SMS messages? No, sometimes she ignored me in Vontakt when she was with Roma, but that wasn't a case of SMSs. We would exchange them only when something urgent happened, and she would always answer. Roma is her suitor. In some other time and situation, I would have been very amused by the word suitor. Not only is it old-fashioned to me, but it also described Roma so poorly in their relationship. He's a good guy, don't get me wrong, but he definitely would not know how to treat her right. He's her boyfriend. They were gonna hang out. For how long? Let me see. They started dating somewhere at the beginning of the school year. I think October, so almost half a year. Did they have fights? I didn't like what she was getting at, but I decided to be honest. Yes, they did. What was the reason and how bad was it? Tell me more, please. In short, it was because he wasn't affectionate enough for the most part. Lena would jokingly refer to him as Romeo, but he was the opposite of that image. Like, he wouldn't get her flowers, give her gifts, or make surprises. Once after Valentine's Day, they even broke up for a week because he didn't get her a gift. Then they got back together. Yeah, he was begging her back for a long time, telling her that he would change. He even kept his promise. On the 8th of March, he gave her flowers for the first time. It was the most tasteless bouquet of flowers that he could find in the city, but Lena was still very happy. Did they have sexual relations? First question of the day that took me by surprise. In the morning, I ran through all possible questions I might be asked, but I didn't think of that. However, now it makes sense that this information could really help out the investigation. I don't know. I think so? Yeah? Like 90% positive. Why do you think so? Well, he came to her house a couple of times when her parents were on business trips. Her parents would often go somewhere for work. They used to take Lena with them, but then she began to stay at home, saying she needs to prepare for exams and doesn't want to miss school. Was that true? Not quite. Lena was a really good student and tried not to miss school. However, she talked her parents into not taking her with them the last few times, mostly because of Roma. What do tasteless flowers look like? I don't know. I imagine like a really gaudy looking bouquet. Did she ever tell you what they do when her parents are not home? No, not really. She said they watch movies, order delicious food. Just that she made all sorts of hints that they were doing something else too. What type of hints? I don't know. You know, she would like look at me across the classroom and she'd like make that little circle with her fingers, and then she'd like take her other finger and be like poking it in the circle and be like, yeah, that's gonna be me this weekend, if you know what I mean, Kira. Or she'd be like, damn, Kira, I am just so sore around my hips. Feels like I've ridden a stallion all weekend, or something like that. I don't know. Plastic daisies. Oh, there you go. I'm not comfortable telling. Well, all kinds of hints. Like, once she said, thanks to Roma, she'd discover a new world. Lena normally liked to speak metaphorically. What else do you expect from someone who writes fan fiction? Oh, shit. What is that? I felt even more embarrassed, but then I decided that fan fiction can be quite innocent. Not everyone writes the same genres as Lena, after all. It's basically small fan stories based on some work. Lena used to write them and upload them to a forum where people could read them and write reviews. Can you tell me where I could read them? Don't do your friend like that, Kira. Don't expose her smut to the world. Her lemon grade fix must be left in the bowels of the internet. Don't show them her Sasuke/Naruto fanfiction. No, I will not. You'll never find the fix I've written. Is this cop asking for fic, Rex? No. Now this is too much. For the first time today, I lied. I don't remember much. The last time I read them was a year ago. You could ask Marina. She's Lena's friend. She was closer with her than me. That's my girl, Kira. Take that shit to the grave. I doubt that Lena's fanfiction stories can give the investigators any clue, but you never know. It's good that I managed to dump it all on Marina. Let's go back to the day. She didn't reply to your messages and you decided to check on her. Yeah, exactly. I was worried because I knew for sure that her parents were returning from a business trip that day, and she wouldn't be late. She was staying the other day so she could be meeting them at 8 o'clock in the evening. Oh man, I wish the more detective games had us look at fanfiction. Why do you hunger for this, Perma? Why, oh why do you hunger for this? I mean, I've heard of people being threatened over fanfics. I know, right? When did she stop responding to your SMSs? I wrote at 6. Exactly? I don't remember. I can check. Yes, of course. I took out my phone and I went to sent messages and found the text there. 6:02. She nodded and wrote it down in her notebook. When was the last time you saw her? In the morning at school. Then we went home and she went for a walk with a small group. A person's fanfics are the windows to their soul. Perma needs the terrible sex scenes. Who was in the group? Roma, Marina, Pasha, and Andre. Our Andre? Oh my god. Is the golden retriever a murderer? Marina is Lena's close friend. Yes, and she is the person you should ask about those fanfics. What about Pasha and Andre? Pasha is Marina's boyfriend, and Andre is a friend of Pasha and Lena. How close were Andre and Lena? Pretty close. She's known him for a long time. It seemed like he liked Lena, but he never spoke about his feelings. Did Lena reject his courtship? There wasn't really any courtship. It's just that Lena was Andre's only female friend. He spent a lot of time with her. Marina once said that he told Pasha that he was obsessed with Lena, but you'd better ask Marina about it. You said that Lena and Andre spent a lot of time together. Wasn't Roma jealous of it? That's a good word. He had an argument with Andre a couple of times because of this. Hello, cat. That is my desk you're clawing up. Please stop it. You want hot Dracula sex, Perma? I think I do have, like... I do actually have a visual horror game that has vampires. Maybe I'll play that tomorrow. That's a good word. He had an argument with Andre a couple of times because of this. Andre told him that it's none of his business who he chooses to be friends with. Once they even had a fight. Maybe that's what I should do this month. Just play the gayest games I can find. Hell, it is Pride Month after all. Did Andre visit Lena? Yes, but only a few times while her parents were home. They studied for exams together. Lena helped him with math and Andre helped her with English. Is Andre a good student? I tried to remember. Yes, sort of. True, he's not very good at math and physics, but he's good at social sciences and languages. You want more pets? You want more pets? Yes, you do, my baby. It's most days, but not every day. Hey, Brainy, how are you, hon? Let's see here. Okay, thanks. Sorry to interrupt again. Can you finish the story of that day to the end and we'll be done? I was glad it was finally over. The interrogation wasn't as stressful as I feared, but I was still very tired. Well, Hiki and I went down to the underground passage in front of Lena's house. There's rarely anyone walking there because it's dirty in the passage. The street was narrow and it's easier to just run across it, but Lena didn't like it, and she always used the passage and taught me to do it too. And we went downstairs and he started pulling me towards a dark corner. I didn't pay attention to it at first, but Hiki was dragging me there very persistently, and I was curious about what she'd found. Did you realize then that this was Lena? No. However, I did realize it was a human body. I didn't even figure out whether they were alive or dead. I just pulled Hiki off and called an ambulance and ran out of there. Get up. Excuse me? Wake up. I'm not sleeping. What are you talking about? Come on, stop mumbling in your sleep. What does that mean? Hello? Ma'am? Get up! My head was pounding. I barely opened my eyes. It took me a few seconds to figure out where I was. Finally, everything started to fall into place. We crashed. The only strange thing was that I'd had this dream. Can people really see dreams when they pass out? Plus the interrogation. More often I look back and see in my dreams how I found Lena, but it's been a while since I dreamed about the interrogation. Oh, the Sleeping Beauty is awake. A young girl with bright red hair was standing in front of me and smiling. My name is Tonya. Do you remember what happened to you? I looked around. I was sitting in a chair and my head was buried in the window glass. Oddly enough, it wasn't knocked out. Pick your gender and one of the characters is a pumpkin lady. Simply gorgeous. We were in the plane crash, weren't we? Yes, that's right. Tonya frowned slightly, but after a few seconds she put a smile on her face. We were lucky. We survived. All of us? No, 4 of us died. Excuse me, music? Hold on. Music. I need you to, like, you're at like a 12 right now. I'm gonna need you at like a 5. Thank you. No, 4 of us died. A young guy broke into the conversation. He looked like he was about 18. 4 already. Yeah, the man who was bleeding from his head just stopped breathing. No heartbeat. Horrible. What are you guys talking about? Roman Sylvania. Romansylvania! I get it now! Oh my god! Romansylvania? I'm gonna have to look this up. Oh wait, is it a game or are you making a pun? Because I really want it to be a game. It is a game! Oh my god, okay. I saw Tonya trying to fight her sadness and anxiety that weighed on her. She was doing pretty well. But now isn't the right time to grieve. We must do something before we freeze ourselves to death here. After these words, I remember about the cold. An icy wind was blowing outside, and the fragment of the plane in which we were sitting was covered in snow. I am so happy that I am not Nick anymore. Maybe I will get lucky, and I can jump into the body of somebody else, and just, you know, go after Keanu Reeves over there. You never know. A clown can dream, okay? Goddamn. Hi, grumpy girl. What else are we supposed to do? We don't know where we are, we don't have food, and we have no idea where to go. Not everyone had warm clothes with them. I was certain that I would fly to Barnull, where I will be picked up, so I'm just wearing a light coat. Elisa, don't be so pessimistic. We should try and find the other part of the plane. You're asking for a working survival horror Mr. Mechanic? What? Oh, jumping into the body of another. I mean, I guess. I mean, maybe. I just don't want to be an underage child. I want to be someone over the age of 18 so I can smash Russian Keanu Reeves. That's what it boils down to. Parts. We were sitting in the middle, so there's a front and a back somewhere. Oh, we're in the middle of the plane. Okay. Big bombies, but pumpkin confetti down bat. Look, I'm just... My hopes were shattered in the first part of the game, okay? Yes, yes, we all want to clobber Keanu Reeves, but... Yes, Boria, you're right. By the way, Sleeping Beauty, you didn't introduce yourself. I'm Kira. Nice to meet you. She extended her hand to me and shook it. Tonia's handshake was unusually strong for a girl. It created a contrast with her feminine voice and appearance. How many of us are there? Is anyone injured? There are 7 survivors. 2 of them got injured and the rest are relatively fine. So, you think that a person who crashed in the mountains might be okay? I've only known this girl for 2 or 3 minutes, but she's starting to piss me off. Well, I meant to say that the others don't have any serious injuries. Boria, in response to Elisa's reaction, started to hesitate and tried to justify himself. I hurried to support him. Yes, it's important to know how many of us can walk. Elisa narrowed her eyes. And why is that important? Well, because we need to understand if we can start moving. Where? In search for others? If there are survivors in other parts of the plane, we need to stick together. Then why don't they find us? Well, they might be seriously injured. Anyway, I don't want to sit here like a princess in a tower and wait for someone to rescue me. Okay, but actually though, while it is admirable to go and find the rest of the plane, and I get it, keep your group together, you really should stay with the plane. Like, what are you gonna do? Wander out into the waste? Get lost? Die? Those are not mutually exclusive. This is true. I like your courage, Kira. I'm with you. Oh, hello, old man. I'd go for a walk too, otherwise what's the point of just sitting here? Good. What's your name? Mitya. And by patronymic is a component of a person name given by one's father. Oh. The man looked about 30 years older than me, and I felt uncomfortable calling him by his first name. It's Dmitri Dmitrovich, but you can call me Mitya or Mitrich. Everyone calls me that. And come on, I'm not your boss or something. Dmitri Dmitrovich gave the impression of an ordinary Russian man. I guess it would be more comfortable for me calling him Mitrich than by his first name or patronym. Okay, what of the others? Ah, you are probably also one of the ones we can smash. I can tell by your art. I'm Nastya. She's Nasty, if you know what I mean. Oh god, I hope she's not underage. I don't trust this game anymore. I'm Nastia. I don't mind walking either, but I'm not sure I can. What's wrong? Are you injured? Well, I'm not really injured, but my leg hurts and it's hard to walk. Well, then you're injured. It's okay. I can help you. Did Borya blush after saying that, or was it my imagination? That was one in the 18 plus patch. I knew it. You can tell. You can tell by the art. All right, then. Nastia smiled slightly, and Borya's cheeks changed from peach to cherry. I would also say by that, maybe Tonya is also in the 18 plus pack. And maybe Alyssa? I don't know. They're just lacking that little look that makes Nastia and Lisa really stand out as being in the pack. Also the boobs. Nastia and Lisa both have really big badonkadonks. There's another wounded man who's still unconscious. What are we going to do with him? I think we should take him with us. We can't leave him to his fate. Mitrich, can you help? Mitrich, about 60. He looked quite strong. His physique portrayed him as a former athlete, or for example, a loader. Why not? Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think Tonya or Elisa are making it into the 18 plus pack. They do not have the badonkers. Imagine recognizing people for their 18 plus patch screens. Are you guys stupid or what? Why is that? I was determined that this time I would answer Elisa harder, as her bitchiness and disrespect were getting on my nerves. Because I gave her a questioning look and she decided to elaborate. First of all, it will be too difficult to carry the wounded with us. We'll walk longer and get exhausted faster. Secondly, he may have serious injuries, fractures. Moving and carrying him might make it worse. We are stupid, but that hardly seems irrelevant. Mitrich is definitely entering the patch. God, I hope so. Let me have one thing. Left something in the gaming suggestion channels, Confetti? Ooh, I will take a look. Her arguments were reasonable and I couldn't confront. I'll have to bury the hatchet for now. Then again, Elisa does have the eyes. She has the same eyes as Nastia and Lisa, so maybe she does make it in. In that case, we need to determine this place so we can return as soon as we can for the other parts of the plane. I'm usually good at navigating unfamiliar landscapes, so I'll remember, but please back me up, so shall we go or not? Tonya looked at me as if I was responsible for the decisions now. This is what it's like to be a manager. You're responsible for others even outside of work. Let's go, I guess. It's so cold here that the longer we sit, the harder it will be to walk. You're right, yes. Elisa, do you have any objections? Yes, but are you willing to listen? I don't intend to stay here alone. That's great. Tonya smiled with relief. Relief? Relief? What was that? I can see Tonya having a Dommy Mommy scene? Maybe. I looked around at everyone. Looks like my small squad was ready to go. I still don't think Tonya has the assets, if you will, in order to make it into the 18 plus pack. But I'm not gonna buy it and find out. Let's move out then. Have you decided where? Her question took me by surprise. I was about to admit that I was a useless leader, but Borya came to my rescue. When we were falling, the plane broke into two parts. First, then the back half, when we were all sitting, fell apart. So we need to look for the tail. I think it should be close. But you can't see it from here. Visibility is very poor here. It's not surprising, Borya. Where did it stay, do you remember? Borya closed his eyes, trying to remember. You don't need heavy jugs to be in the 18 plus patch. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I'm waiting for her to just be wearing a very strong bra. What, she, like, has it flattened to her chest, and when she, like, lets it go, they just go, boom, and they just expand. I'm pretty sure it's up there somewhere. I think it's a little higher, and you know what? Maybe Alyssa does make it into the pack. She's got the eyes. So maybe we try and follow the trail until it's completely covered with snow. Like airbags, exactly. You take it off and it's like pulling a ripcord in one of those balloons in a life jacket. Yes, let's do that. Our little brainstorming proved to be fruitful. We moved out along the trail from the sliding debris. Walking was difficult, but I had no bags and it made it a bit easier. Alyssa didn't carry anything either. Tonya had a small bag. Mitrich carried a very heavy-looking suitcase, which he somehow managed to bring on as carry-on luggage. What are you... placing my bet that there's weapons in there. Nastia leaned on Borya because of the injured leg. Where's the dude that was knocked out? By the way, where is the luggage stored in the plane? I have no idea. I thought at the center. Have you checked it? Maybe it's in the rack. Borya, Nastya, and Mitrich looked at each other in fear. No one wanted to return, but everyone understood that leaving luggage that might contain something useful was not an option. I checked. There was nothing. Good. I mean, bad, of course, that it wasn't there, but it's good that you checked it. I realized that it was worth looking through the shelves for hand luggage, but for some reason no one thought about it. I decided to remain silent so as not to demotivate the others. After some time, I decided to make a halt. We've been walking for a long time, but we haven't found anything yet. We're moving slowly, so we probably didn't go far enough, and the visibility is very poor. Our wreck was out of sight after 5 minutes. Mitrich, your suitcase is very heavy, isn't it? I can help. It's okay, Tanchaka. Tanichaka? Don't worry. I apologize to anyone who speaks Russian. I'm not doing good. Okay, but I'm Tanya. Mitrich hitched his forehead so hard that I flinch. I'm so sorry. It's no fun to be old. Let's get to know each other better, by the way. Why? Well, we're doing a common task now. We need a little team building. Elisa sneers dismissively. I'm not in the mood for that. Sorry. It's okay. Just tell me a little bit about... I'll just... Blah, 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 blah. It's okay. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself, and the others can continue if they want. I'm Kira. I'm 27 years old. Yes! One of legal age. I've been living in Moscow for 9 years, but I like visiting my family in Barnaul for vacation. I'm working as a product manager at one IT company. My hobbies are reading, watching shows, and traveling. I don't mind sharing too. My name is Antonina. According to my passport. But for everyone, I'm Tonya. I'm 25 and I do nails. I love dogs, firework, and yoga. I'm Mitya. All of my friends call me Mitrich. I'm 56. I work as a truck driver on the weekends. Wait. Antonina. Ah! Gotcha. So that's how it's pronounced. Okay. I'm still gonna probably fuck it up. I apologize. On the weekends, I like to watch box fighting or playing dominoes with my fellows. It seemed to me that I was stuck in the universe with some low-quality novel. I need to drink more water. Oh my god, my throat is killing me. Sorry. It seemed to me that I was stuck in the universe of some low-quality novel with the most stereotypical characters. However, maybe all these people are not as simple as they seem. Thank you for the hydrate. I'm 20. I'm a second-year student in Moscow. I love reading, dancing, and karaoke. I'm 19, but in 2 months I'll be 20 also. I'm a first-year student, and in my free time I play games on the console and football. Well, I also like to read, of course. Nastya, what university do you study at, by the way? At Moscow State University. And you? Wow, I'm at MSU too. At the Department of History. God, look at his big old eyes. Look at his chubby little cheeks. He's like a hamster. I love him. I study mass media and journalism. Let's go. Since everyone got to know each other, I hope this team building was useful. And now we will quicken up. We continued walking. Borya and Nastya, who were walking behind, were having a conversation. I quickened my pace a little and caught up to Tonya. You work in Moscow, don't you? Yeah, why? I haven't done nails for a long time. I don't have time at all because of work. Can I make an appointment with you? Of course. As soon as we get back, come to me and I will make you the most beautiful nails in all of Moscow. I actually said this to keep the conversation going with Tonya, but maybe I really should visit her. It's time I start paying more attention to my appearance. Sam from Game of Thrones, isn't it? Well, look, we love a hamster boy. Don't forget, I'll give you a personal discount. Well, thanks, I won't forget. So when does the snowman monsters happen? There are snowman monsters? I was wondering what else to talk about when I got interrupted by Borya shouting, "There's someone out there!" I looked into the endless white landscape and noticed a figure of a man in black. Let's speed up before he leaves. He's walking in our direction. The man waved at us, signifying that he had indeed seen us. Hey, it's Matty boy! Matt? Mark. It's Mark. I quickened and soon got a good look at his face. Mark? Kira? Of course! I knew Mark flew home every year around this time, but until now we never got to meet on the same flight. Now that I started to forget about him, we got lucky to meet. I'm glad to see you. And I'm not, Mark. Tonya's jaw dropped in surprise, but then without too many questions she turned to Mark. So, your name is Mark, right? I'm Tonya. Nice to meet you. Were you in the tail? Me too. And yeah, in the tail. Are you from the head? Not really. We were in the little wreckage in the middle. Got it. Then let's go. It's about a 5-minute walk to the tail. There are many survivors. Are there wounded among you? Nastya injured her leg a little, but it seems that the injury is not serious. Mark turned towards Boris, whom Nastya was leaning. Wait, is it Boris? Are you tired? I can help Nastya get back to camp if you want to rest. Borya. No, I'm not tired at all. That's good. Also, we left one wounded inside the wreckage. We left his ass. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. We decided not to carry him so not to make things worse. Yes, that's right. We have a doctor among us, so we'll go get her to the wreck and examine the wounded if you show us the way. I'll show you. Great, then let's go catch Lisa. Mark headed towards the camp and we followed him. Hey, sweet! Welcome, welcome. We're playing Patrov. I can never remember the name of it. We're playing Project Vostok. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. We couldn't find anyone else other than the guys from the middle part of the plane. At least no one alive. On the other hand, we did a lot of useful work. We cleaned the cabin, arranged makeshift beds for the wounded in the back rows, and got all the food that we had found in the hand luggage. Everyone who could stand on their feet was committing. We were very lucky that none of us were whining or freaking out. Elisa still managed to let everyone down with her pessimistic forecasts, though. However, she took part in the cleaning the salon, at least. I was very tired. I hardly felt hungry, and all I ate during the day was a quarter of a chocolate bar and a piece of sausage. The cold was more threatening for me. In general, I like winter, and endured cold more easily than heat, but the weather now was too harsh for me. So, in the cold opening, 3 hikers were found by a albino gentleman in the middle of a blizzard, and he led them to his secret bunker, where 2 of them were shortly then murdered by his sister, and the 3rd one, as far as we know, was killed by a professor. Now we're playing through as a couple of different characters whose plane has crashed, and they are now stuck in the same frozen waste. So I imagine they'll be finding that bunker soon. In the cold winter season when coming home, I'm usually warmed by the thought that soon I'll be having hot tea wrapped in a warm blanket. Now, though, there was nowhere to hide from the cold. I felt weak and helpless in front of it. It wasn't clear when it will loosen or if it wasn't clear when it will loosen or will it ever. Okay. I tried to distract myself from thoughts about the weather by talking with my new friends. I had sympathy for Mark, Nastya, and Borya among all. Mark is smart and reasonable. His confidence and calmness took over the fear and anxiety that others were feeling. Borya and Nastya are nice and optimistic guys. Also, unlike the rest of the survivors, they're not much older than me. Maybe that's why it's easier for me to communicate with them? Kira left quite a big impression, too. I'm not sure how I feel about her. Her attempts to approach everyone around trying to cheer them up with stereotyped phrases annoyed me. On the other hand, she apparently did it with the right intentions, and perhaps her words would really help someone. Somewhere in the middle of the day, she came up to me. Oh, apparently Kira is also in the 18+ pack. Huh. You can't tell me she's not. Look at her art. Kira's totally making it into the 18+ DLC. You're Nick, right? Oh no, we're playing as Nick again? No! No, please tell me Nick's not supposed to be like the dude who's romancing everybody. Game, don't do this to me. Ugh, gross. You're Nick, right? Yeah, are you Kira? I'm waiting for there to be no 18+ DLC. Kira, get out of here! Run! Kira, run! I'm begging you! Don't! Nick is 15 years old! But I'm just getting hints. I'm just getting hints that it's him who's like the real protagonist and he is supposed to be the one romancing people and oh God in heaven. Yes, I believe that we must work as a team if we want to survive, and that's why we need to get to know each other better. Can you please tell me about yourself? Suddenly, it felt as if I was back at kids' camp again. Where I used to spend every summer. Every time we arrived at the camp, the first thing we would do was all make acquaintances and introduce ourselves. Though those stories were useless, silly, and faded from my memory as soon as a couple hours at most had passed. That was tradition, though. I am butchering these sentences. I apologize. I was about to tell Kira that I don't really like this idea, but then changed my mind. Why would I risk being on bad terms with her? I'm Nick. I'm 15. I live in Moscow. From time to time, I go and visit my father in Barnaul. Brevity of this is the wit of the soul, right? I work in Moscow, and I have family in Barnaul. How are you holding up? Don't worry, everything will be fine. They find crash planes pretty fast nowadays. I think we have to stay here for 1 or 2 more nights at most. What are her predictions based on? Did she really mean what she said? It seemed to me that Kira, in fact, was trying to calm down herself rather than calming me down. Well, if so, then I'll try and play along with her. You're right. I can already imagine how I'm going to play at the console at my dad's house. Hopefully I can do it before New Year's. Otherwise, we agreed to go bowling on the 31st. Kira nodded. She liked my answer. I see that you're doing well. Good job. You can talk to the others and cheer them up like I'm trying to do. If you want, of course. Otherwise, I'm afraid that they might have a breakdown and start panicking. Okay, I'll try. Kira went to another part of the plane. She seemed to have completed her detour. According to my observation, she managed to talk to everyone who was conscious, except for Mark. I wonder why that is. There wasn't much to do, so I decided to follow Kira's advice and talk to someone. The problem was that some of the survivors were sleeping and others were simply minding their own business. Oh. You know what? Hold on one second. I want to talk to Andre. It's probably just a coincidence, but Andre was the name of somebody who was mentioned in Kira's backstory, who was supposedly obsessed with her friend who got murdered. I want to see what's up with Andre. I decided to approach Andre, who was looking at something on his phone. While I was thinking about how to start the conversation, Andre spoke first. Hi, Nick. I was just about to come up to you. I have a request. What is it? Do you have your phone with you? Yeah, but there's no signal. Which mobile operator is this? Tel 11. Great, that's just what I needed. I've collected phones from different mobile operators, and I want to walk around the area. I might get lucky with the connection. Oh, that's a great idea. I didn't really want to give up my phone to someone I didn't know, but it was hard to come up with an excuse to refuse. Can I have it then? I'll return it right after. I unwillingly handed my phone to Andre. It's low on power, so I turned it off. Saying this, I hoped this might make Andre give up his plan. Yes, I understand. We have 2 power banks. We found them together with some other stuff. So if your phone runs out, I'll recharge it. Good. Is the monster, whoever they are, also 18 plus? I don't know. We haven't met 13. 13 was one of the people in the bunker. And we never got to see her, but she might be. Also, I have a feeling that the monster might be the friends we made along the way. Ayo, the 18 plus pack, let's go. No, let's not go, because I'm still not convinced that the person who is romancing people isn't Nick, and Nick is 15. Like, I'm very concerned that the person who's banging people in the 18 plus pack is totally Nick. In which case, pack it up, everybody. Pause, champ. I know, right? I hope he's not going to ask for a passcode. You can check the connection without it. Can you tell me what your passcode is, please? So that I can call you right away if the connection catches up. Damn! What should I say to him? Think fast. Just give him the passcode. You could also call the rescue service without the passcode. You just need to hold down the top sound button and the off button. Andre looked at me incredulously. Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks. Wish me luck, Nick. You've got a lot of porn on your phone, don't you, Nick? Maybe the real Vostok was the project we made along the way. Please, just let somebody else do the banging in the game. That's all I ask. I showed him my fingers crossed. Andre waved at me and went to the exit. I breathed a sigh of relief. Why was I so reluctant to tell him the passcode? I don't have anything to hide on my phone, but something inside me just didn't feel safe giving away the access to my messages and my browser with saved passwords. I hope it didn't sound too weird. Let's talk to Mitrich. I came up to Mitrich staring at a hole in the left side of the plane. Mitrich is an elderly man who works as a truck driver. I managed to get to know him, but our dialogue was very short. He seemed to be a nice person, perhaps because he reminded me of my grandfather. He was also very sociable and friendly. Mitrich was very passionate about his job. He looked at the cavity from different sides, took measurements, and estimated the thickness. I wondered what would happen next. At some point, he finally noticed that I was standing next to him and decided to greet me. Kolya, great! How are you, Sonny? Did our doctor fix you up? I wasn't surprised that he called me Kolya. For some reason, older people absolutely do not accept Nick as being short for Nikolai. Rather, they go for a more familiar option. On the other hand, I was surprised that I had already become his Sonny. However, my grandfather would also talk to people that he knew for a couple of hours, as if they were his closest friends. He would have seen all the Toho fanfics on his phone. Yeah, I'm better now, thanks. Lisa said the injuries were minor. Thanks for asking. Well, thank God. Hey, can you help me with something? Oh no, of course he would ask me for a favor. Shouldn't have approached him at all. Nick, stop being a little shit. You're trying to survive on a mountain. I never liked working with my hands. It has nothing to do with laziness. Okay, maybe it has, but it's not the main reason. The problem is I'm really a butterfingers. I take this after my dad. He would never know how to handle male household chores, like nailing shelves or fixing something. Instead, he said, leave it to the professionals, and called masters, plumbers, or electricians. Or maybe the phone is... the background is one of those edits as Germa as an anime girl. Oh god, he's gonna find all the gacha games on his phone, and he's gonna judge him so hard. One day he decided to hire a driver after another promotion at work, so then his driver, Uncle Xenia, has been doing all of these houseworks. I don't know if Dad pays him extra for this, but I wouldn't be surprised if not. Dad and Uncle Xenia are friends, plus the latter claims that he loves repairing things, especially technical equipment. It occurs to me now that Nick is from a rich-ass family, probably, is my guess. Kolya, what are you up? Come on, don't be shy. Hold this blanket. We'll glue it now. Mittrich measured out the long piece of tape and glued it to the fuselage on the left up from the hole. After evaluating the results of his work and as if nodding to himself in approval, Mittrich kept sticking the tape around the frame. Will it hold? He looked at me as if I was saying total bullshit. Of course it will. It's Lemon. It's Lehman. It's Lehman Russ! Primarch of the Space Wolves. Okay, sorry. You think I brought this by accident? No, I got it in Moscow, because you can't find it back in my city. It holds up well in the cold, by the way. German quality. I was a little embarrassed that I had never heard of this Lehman tape. All I know about tape is that in English, it is called tape, not scotch. Well, it's also called scotch tape sometimes. One of my dad's favorite stories during a business trip to Singapore, he asked at the reception for scotch at the hotel, and he was told that scotch whiskey could be found in the minibar. Okay, come here. I'll stick it on the left and you hold it on the right. That's it! Molotov! Really? He even has a hammer with him? I almost asked why. I almost asked which hammer, where can I get it, but at last second I realized he must have been praising me like that. Something like the word well done. Yeah, it's hard to understand boomers sometimes. Let's go stick it from the outside. There was no way to refuse, so I followed him. Luckily, we managed to be done very quickly. Mittrich put tape around the frame and waited for me to hand him the blanket. Excuse me, but why do you need a tape at all? Why did you bring it with you? My wife and I started home repairs. Well, tape is a tape. It will always come in handy in the household. I nodded. I wondered at what age will I start buying a tape thinking it will always come in handy in the household. About 25, that's usually when it kicks in. You'll also really get into kitchen appliances. We worked on it for some time, after which the hole was finally patched up. Mittrich stepped back a few steps to admire the work. Beautiful. Now it will be warmer inside, just that the entrance has to be closed with something. Okay, Sonny, thanks for the help. Cold but satisfied with the work done, I returned to the plane. Lisa. At the very end of the plane, I saw Lisa and decided to approach her. The last 2 rows in the cabin became something like a ward in which the 4 wounded were placed. Oh dang, I'm already into kitchen appliances. I mean, have you seen a good pepper grinder? I know, right? Have you seen, chat, have you seen in your life the magic of a French door refrigerator with like water dispenser and also an ice maker? Like, oh my god, chat. Oh my god. Have you seen the magic of a panini press? It's so good. Don't talk dirty to me. Talk kitchen appliances to me. I don't know what that is, but you got me into it. I have one of those fridges. Oh, they're so good. Oh, you gotta love the water dispenser. You do! Especially if you live in like an area with not great water and the water dispenser has a filter built in. Oh, it's either that or it's a fridge from like the 70s and the 80s because those suckers have literally been built to last through like a nuclear war. If you find a fridge that was built in the 70s, it's never gonna break. I can guarantee you it. It just will, it'll outlast you and it will outlast your kids. The water from the tap tastes funny. The stuff in the dispenser is better. It's true though. The water from the tap do taste funny. Especially where I am. The water from the tap tastes funny. Ah, Lisa. Hello. How are you doing? Hot pressed paninis. Oh my god. Right? Nothing is more erotic than a well put together toaster. Like, oh my god. A lazy Susan chat. A lazy Susan. Or a really well-made pantry. We do have a sandwich press. Great for quesadillas. Oh, hello, Lisa. Yeah, Abner, can you tell that she's one of the people in the 18 plus pack? I bet you can. In fact, let's make a game of it. Let's go through and find who's in the 18 plus pack just based on their art. Actually, I wonder if I can pull it up. Can I pull up... Game, will you let me pull up Steam really quick? The corner pantries that rotate. Oh my god, yes. Okay, let me really quick. Project Vostok. The DLC. Oh wait, hello? Oh, I think I can. Okay, I think I can romance. Now, I don't know. Oh wait, maybe not, because Nastia is not on here. Let me look at the... Okay, the DLC. Project Vostok. The 18 plus only content. Okay. I was hoping it would show more pictures so that maybe I could, like, determine who is in here and who is not. The DLC restores the illustrations of several adult scenes which were censored in the original game. Oh, never mind. We will find them anyways. She's a nasty bitch, if you know what I mean. Ah. The best thing I reckon is that I have a dishwasher. It saves so much water and doesn't set off my eczema. Oh my god, I know, right? We had a tiny, tiny dishwasher that you actually like hook up to the sink, but it broke years ago, so we've been washing all of our dishes by hand. I know, first world problems, but I would love to have a dishwasher again. It's just one screen cap. Yeah, I noticed. I want one of those pantries for my spices. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Oh, Nick, is that you? How do you... enough of the kitchen appliances. Gonna get me all a flutter over here if we keep talking about it. How do you feel? Did you get enough sleep? Yeah, I slept well. I feel a lot better. That's good. Lisa looks sleepy. She must have been treating the wounded all night. Do you need help? It won't hurt, but thanks for asking. What should I do? Oh, you need to find a long, strong branch. Can you do it? Yes. Coarse sea salt. Oh my god. You can get it dishwasher free if you kidnap someone and handcuff them to the sink. Naomi, no! Don't be giving away the secrets on stream. How long? Take the longest one you can find. I felt like a character on an RPG quest. I'm glad she didn't ask for something like 10 rat tails. What's it for? Lisa put on a disgruntled expression. Apparently that implied that her order should be carried out with no clarifying questions. I need to fix... I'm so sorry for any Russian viewers. Inokenti Igorovich's leg onto something. I'm gonna call him Iggy. There we go. Iggy. I need to fix Iggy's leg onto something. I fixed it onto the chair handle, but it needs to be something longer. I decided not to test Lisa's patience anymore and went searching for it. You're gonna find a tree out here? Donner, party of 4. Donner, party of 4. Not yet, it's not. Hopefully not. The trees were about 3 minutes walk from here. There are trees out here? Oh, yeah, okay. I've never been into plants. I did look like a nerd. It had very little to do with my knowledge of plants, though. All I could say about these trees was that they were conifers and they looked bare. I've never seen conifers shed their needles. For a while, I wandered around the mini forest, trying to find a suitable branch. It appeared to be more challenging. What is this? Oh no, bring it back. Okay, there we go. They were too thin or too short or bent. Finally, when I was already starting to freeze, it caught my eye and I found what I was looking for. The branch was high enough, but I managed to reach it and break it off. After that, I cleared it of a small number of intact needles. I thought a hint should appear now. Acquired, a long branch. 1. Head to Lisa to complete the quest. Returning to the plane, I noticed that Vitya smoking at the entrance and Vadim standing next to him. They were talking about something. Hey boys, you making out over here? Well, I will say, Vadim is definitely not making it into the 18 plus pack. Like, I can just tell from his art style. Vitya, maybe? I don't know. He's handsome enough for it, but I don't know if they give you the option to, you know, get your smooch on with dudes. Vitya is? He is in the 18 plus pack? Oh my god, okay. Hell yeah. Vadim is definitely not making it in there, though. Receding hairstyle in my hentai? Hairline, even? Hey, can you cook with expired milk? No, don't do it. I actually don't know. I hope he is. I mean, he has a different enough art style. They were talking about something. So if you want to start, take a Yamaha 125. You can't go wrong. It's good for beginners. They talked about motorcycles. I'm not surprised. The bike fit perfectly into Vitya's image. Yeah, it would suit Vadim too. Guys like him also often drive them. Nick, hello. What do you have there? Getting armed? It's not a weapon, it's medical equipment, so to speak. Ah, helping Lisa. Very commendable. Did you find cigarettes? Yeah, a lot of them. 2 blocks and almost a dozen packs. We can smoke until we pass out. You want some? No thanks. And you? What? No. I said I don't smoke. It's bad for health. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. So where did we stop? How much is that motorbike you were talking about? I felt the cold wind again, so I hurried inside. Lisa met me at the entrance. Seeing me and my branch, she broke into a smile. I knew you wouldn't let me down, Nick. Thank you. It's nice to feel useful, even when it's just finding a branch. What kind of trees grow there, do you think? Hydrate, thank you, Abner. Ugh. Anything is food if you're hungry enough. Ugh. Alright, let's get back to it. What kind of trees grow there, do you know? Probably larches. I didn't get to see them because of the wounded. I almost didn't get out of the plane. Would you like to meet them, by the way? I didn't want to. I was scared to look at the wounded, their bruises, blood, faces distorted with pain, but it would be too impolite to refuse. Of course I do. Iggy, this is Nick. He brought a stick for your leg. Well done. Iggy was clearly out of sorts. I understand him. I've never broken my limbs, but I've heard it's unbearably painful. Realistically, it depends on what you need the milk for. You could break it up into chunks. The food wouldn't turn out good unless you're making legit banned cheese. Nick, this is Inoki. This is Iggy. He has a broken leg. I'm giving him painkillers, but he's still very sick. I nodded. And this is Vera. Thank you for helping him, son. Don't mind him. He's the kind of person that never shows gratitude. In 50 years, he hasn't said a kind word to me. You're so full of it. It must be tough for Lisa here. She gets to listen to their constant arguing. That man is Antoli. He was in the central fragment. He's not feeling well and sleeps a lot. And that woman hasn't regained consciousness yet. I hope they all get better. Well, they don't have images, so probably not. Oh, Kasumatsu. Yeah, I know that one. Lisa shook her head sadly. That's unlikely. They won't recover here. I'll do my best to give them help before rescuers arrive, so they get professional medical care afterwards. You can do it. Thank you, Nick. I said goodbye and returned to the front of the cabin. The day flew by pretty quickly. Also, it's banned because of the process by which it's created. It's not considered to really be safe for consumption. Yeah, possible health issues. It's produced in a very unusual way, and because of that, a lot of people don't consider it to be safe for consumption. The day flew by pretty quickly. It was unfortunate that I got into this exact plane, but I was lucky that it crashed together with these people. Most of them showed optimism, willing to support each other and work together for salvation. It was inspiring and promising. With these thoughts, I got comfortable and tried to nap. I couldn't do it right away. I tossed and I turned for a long time, trying to find a comfortable position. I don't get to sleep on the seat of a crashed plane very often. But after a while, the right position was found and I began to sleep. When I woke up, the first thing I did was open my eyes and look around the interior. It was dark and everyone was asleep. I decided to check the time and took my phone out of my habit. Andre didn't manage to get cell phone reception. The phone turned out to be off, of course. I went to check out the luggage rack, very quietly trying not to wake anyone up. Mittrich had left his wristwatch there so that we could check the time without wasting phone battery. I picked up the watch and took out the phone to shine the flashlight on it, but the phone was still off. Then I tried to focus my sight and finally managed to see the position of the arrows. It was about 1 in the morning. That means I only slept for a couple of hours. I wonder why I woke up. As if to answer my question, there were some sounds in the background. Most likely they woke me up. Is somebody banging on the plane? Is it Vladimir and Vitya? I tried to listen carefully. It seemed that someone was walking in the snow. Maybe the guys went out for a smoke? But the sounds were too frequent. It must be one of the guys who went for a run? I decided to go out and check, but by the time I tied my laces and got to the exit, the sound had stopped. When I got out of the plane, I saw Vitya smoking at the entrance. Can't sleep, little bro? Having said this, Vitya handed me a pack of cigarettes, but I shook my head. Usually I don't expect anything good from people who call everyone around them bros or buddies, but Vitya didn't make any negative impressions on me. Unlike Vadim, Vitya didn't look like an aggressive gopnik, but rather a friendly goof. I apologize, by the way, if that is offensive to somebody. I don't know enough about this language. As far as I can tell, gopnik is just like a hoodlum from the country or something. It might all be part of his country rock star image, though. Maybe he's not as simple in reality. Can't everyone on this plane be so good at playing their roles in stereotypical characters? Yeah, for some odd reason I can't sleep. It happens to me when there are too many emotions built up by the end of the day. I also thought I heard some sounds. Vitya's face suddenly changed. Hello? You two? I already thought I was glitching. Like someone was slapping in the snow. He paused, trying to imagine. That was there too, but there was another one, like, champing. You mean chomping? Gopniks are like bogans here in Australia, low-income folk who like to cause trouble sometimes. Huh. That's what he said, slapping and champing. I'm assuming it means chomping. That sounds even worse. Yeah, I don't like it either. Maybe there's some wild animals out there? I don't know if animals can even live in such a place. Should ask it from the others. And wouldn't they hibernate in the winter? On the other hand, besides the local animals, there's no one. People can't live here except for us, so either their animals went crazy or my mind did. Well, that's unlikely. She couldn't have gone with us at the same time, could she? Who? What? You know, I wouldn't be surprised. He continued to smoke, looking thoughtfully into the distance. I'm having deja vu right now. What is this? It feels like it happened to me before. I think it's because I was in a similar situation once at camp. Vitya looked at me with a curious look, as if saying, "Tell me." I was starting to get cold, but thanks to my warm clothes, it was bearable. I thought it wouldn't be able to sleep anyway, so why not tell the story? Okay, listen. Did you guys hear that sound too? Vanya voiced what the rest of us did not dare. The answer was not immediate. It seemed to me that it might be some kind of joke. Now, I admit that I heard, and then I will turn out blah 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 blah. Now I admit that I heard, and then it will turn out to be one of the boys, put it on the phone, and that's it. They'll remind me every chance they get. But the sounds were clearly coming from outside the window and could not be someone's prank. Slapping nuts in a blizzard ever closer. Oh, God. Colonel, I'm trying to sneak up on this plane, but the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting the survivors. So I made up my mind. I heard it too. After that, the boys got bolder. Apparently no one believed that I could be playing a part in that terrible prank. I don't know if that's good or bad. Me too. I can hear it too. It's like someone is howling. They couldn't get close enough to the body and became ice cubes. So what, they're just like clacker balls? Maybe wolves? It sounds more like a human voice. Besides, wolves don't live here. If someone is trying to joke around, then I'll tear his head off. Okay, calm down, Igor. Threatening to tear off someone's head was Hot Pie's favorite. And he would use it at every... Hot Pie? Hot Pie? You nicknamed some dude Hot Pie? And he used it at every opportunity. I thought about why Igor is called Hot Pie. Of course, no one dares to call him that in person, but behind his back he is always Hot Pie. The knowledge of Igor's nickname passed from mouth to mouth. We've been together at the summer camp 3 times, and every time there's a guy who casually calls him Hot Pie, and then gets a questioning look by like, oh, didn't you know? Igor and I came to study at the same school, and everyone calls him that. But I don't tell him that. He doesn't like that nickname. What the fuck? Hot Pie? How do you get a nickname like Hot Pie? At the same time, no one knows anything about the origin of the nickname. Maybe Igor was fat when he was younger? Now he's very athletic, though. Hot Pie the Sailor Man. He's Hot Pie the Sailor Man. Toot toot! What do you mean a joke? It sounds like it's coming from the street. Yes, seems like it. I know who that is. All eyes went to the thoughtful guy named Nikita. Nikita was quiet and mysterious dreamer. Quiet kids often had a hard time in the camp, but for some reason, Nikita made an exception. Maybe it's because he had a talent for telling stories. Have you heard the cool story about Valentin Petrovich? Which Valentin Petrovich? Well, about the counselor. I couldn't figure out if Nikita really thought we should know this story, or if he was so good at making a surprised face. Okay, I'll tell you the story then. He sat down on the bed and began the story with undisguised pleasure. So 7 years ago, there was a case. I didn't go to camp then, but my elder brother did, and he told me there was a counselor at the camp, Valentin Petrovich. He had an affair with one girl. What was her name? I don't remember. Ira or something? It doesn't matter. You get that nickname by burning on entry. Hot Pie. Okay, what next? He wrote her letters and they went for a walk one night, but no one really noticed them until a certain moment. And how old was he? I don't remember either. He wasn't old, 20 or something. And the girl? 15. Oh, god damn it! What the hell? Such stories did not particularly surprise anyone. Girls often fell in love with counselor guys, and boys fell in love with counselor girls, most often unrequited. To hook up with a counselor is the dream of every second boy, but I've not heard of a single success story. Okay. But on the second last night of the shift, they were caught in the bower when they, well, you know. Nikita hesitated to say it. Didn't expect some shyness from him. They were making out? Yes, Igor, honey, they were making out. Kolyan grinned. He guessed that Nikita meant something more serious than just take this game out back and shoot it, maybe? The game's not saying it's a good thing so far. We'll see where we end up by the end of it. He guessed that Nikita meant something more serious than just making out. Hot Pie was notable for his innocence, even though he was a tough-looking adult at first glance. He's a child! What do you mean? Does the child look like a tough-looking adult? Yes, something like that. They were making out. One of the younger girls caught them and ran to complain to the counselor. They came and saw everything and yelled so hard the whole camp woke up. And then what? The rest of the counselors decided that they would wait until the last night of camp and then take Valentine to the cops. For what for? Oh, you're like a small kid, Igor. What do you mean, what for? He was messing with an underage girl. Kolyan was the only one who could troll and tease Hot Pie, not only behind his back. Kolyan wasn't athletic or strong, but he had audacity and courage that helped him gain authority amongst the boys. By the way, it was because of him that I became Nick. There were 2 Nikolais at the camp, and so there was no confusion. They began to call him Kolyan and me Nick. However, it's not that I'm mad because of this. I wasn't too passionate about being called Kolyan. Kolyan explained everything clearly. Did they call? Well, I'll tell you now, don't rush. This Valentine locked himself in his room and didn't go anywhere. They didn't see him all day. When they started knocking on the door, he didn't open. And when they kicked the door down, he was hanging there. His face was blue, his eyes bulging. At some point, there was silence in the room. Apparently, the boys tried to imagine this picture. Horrible. And what does this have to do with the sounds? Oh, it's very simple. You see, due to the fact that Valentin Petrovich hanged himself in such a place, his soul remained here forever. Since then, Valentin has been walking around the camp and scaring kids and counselors. He can't do any harm, as he doesn't have a body. He can't do any harm as he doesn't have a body, but making all sorts of sounds, breaking vases, he knows how to do it. He's trying to take revenge on this camp for what happened to him. What on earth are you... Is that an old army song, Naomi? Damn, I was recently walking along the trail. The window cracked, but there was no wind. I think it was Valentine. Yes, most likely. What happened to the girl? Oh, nothing. She transferred to another school and that's it. Soon everybody forgot about her. That's how it always is. Boys, girls don't care and the guys become ghosts. The guys giggled nervously. The whole story seemed to me wildly stupid and ridiculous. Something on the level of coffin on wheels. But now I was ready to accept it. The fact that a ghost cannot harm anyone calmed me down. Let's call the Bloody Mary tomorrow? You can try, but I don't believe in her. Ghosts exist, that's a fact. But the Bloody Mary is a fairy tale for children. Everyone nodded, perhaps at another time. Nikita would have been ridiculed for his beliefs in ghosts, but now he managed to find a very good moment for his stories, and Nikita knew how to tell them. You can't take that away from him. And what kind of sounds were they? Did you figure out in the end? Vitya finished his first cigarette a long time ago, and now he lit a second one. Well, we did. It was some local fools from the neighboring village who made their way to camp and decided to make fun of us. They sat under windows and howled. I see. Vitya tried to say it as if he understood everything from the beginning, but it seemed to me that there was a little disappointment in his voice. You know, the story is lit, but it has nothing to do with us right now. We don't have anyone here who could be making those sounds on purpose. Yeah, I understand. Then who? How do I know? Yeah, right. Okay, little bro. Maybe now you want some? He again handed me a pack. Vitya was very intrusive. Vitya was very intrusive. I even thought about agreeing, but then I heard a voice from behind. Why are you offering cigarettes to a kid, Shaggy Hair? What are you talking about? He's an adult guy. Are you 18 already? An adult guy? I thought about it for a bit, seeing my chances to fool her, but decided not to risk it. No. Well, that's it. Look, I'll see this again. I'll tell Lisa, and she'll definitely kick you in the neck for it. Okay, I got it. You better tell me, Elisa. Do you have a boyfriend? What a straightforward question. It sounded like, does your mother need a son-in-law? Why do you care? Even if the two of us were stuck here forever, I still wouldn't date you. Are you one of those girls who goes around rejecting guys and likes to play hard to get? My type. Do you like tsunderes? Oh, no. Nick is into anime. Oh, God. Who's this? Who are you calling a tsundere, you little brat? Oh, my God. Elisa knows what it is. She's a nerd. She's a nerd. Ridicule her, chat. Ridicule the weeb. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. Vitya has no idea what's going on. Do you know what that means? Elisa hesitated. Gotcha. I don't know. It just sounds stupid and weird. Okay, that's it. I'm tired of you both. I'll go smoke and go to bed. Give me a cigarette. Vitya obediently handed her a pack. She took out a cigarette and put it in her mouth and stood there for 10 seconds. A lighter. I remembered a phrase that one of my homies used on such occasions. Do you need help smoking it too? I instantly caught a look full of hatred. Your tongue is too long. Look, you'll regret it later. Okay, I'll shut up. Calling it now, she dies first. I don't know. I do not know. Having whispered to Vitya, I'm sorry, I'm leaving, I hurried to the plane. Chapter 4, Kira. When will we ever find out what's in the fridge? Coming up with survival strategy implied our acceptance of the idea that we wouldn't be rescued. Not any time, at least. I tried to convince myself and the others that this was just a backup plan. We might be found soon, but that it doesn't mean we don't need a plan B. Great time and place to make enemies, I know, right? The problem was that our plan B started to sound more like plan A. Now everyone was busy doing things, or at least pretending to be. Lisa was spending the time with the wounded, several guys were insulating the cabin, Andre collected all the smartphones and was walking around the plane trying to catch a signal. The rest were busy collecting firewood on which we melted the snow to turn into drinking water. We didn't have an axe, and we didn't figure how to build it, so we had to be content with branches and dead wood. I finished collecting branches and wanted to get some rest, but I couldn't sit still. Guys, who wants to go with me to the back of the plane? Maybe there are some things left that could be useful. Proposing looting. You have a better idea? Elisa was being sarcastic as usual. She looked down on the others and would always find something to complain about or someone to be mad at. At the same time, I started getting used to her communication style, and she was no longer so annoying. This isn't looting. What is it then? Considering our situation, there's nothing wrong about taking things that the wounded won't be needing. Well, so you will soon begin justifying cannibalism. It feels like the Overton window is already open. There is no more banal and hackneyed concept than the Overton window, especially if you mention it in the context of cannibalism. These two smart talkers would make a great couple. I hurried to interrupt their next argument. So, who's going? To be honest, I don't remember the trail very well, and it would be nice if someone from the central part would go with me. I'll go. I don't see any harm in taking some things that can help us. Burger. Most of all, I'm counting on Tanya. She's self-confident, organized, and pleasant in communication. Let's go then. I suggest moving out as soon as possible. Come on. A couple of minutes after we got off the plane, Elisa caught up with us. Seeing her, Tonya didn't hesitate to gloat. Oh, did you decide to join our Marauders squad? Choose who you'll be, Mooney or Wormtail. From Harry Potter? I know it's hard for you to believe, but I still don't plan on taking anything from someone. I could as well left something of my own out there. And I'll also walk with you to get some rest of this stupid talk. Blah, 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 blah. I can't talk right now. Pat the clown, thank you! Also, I'd walk with you to get some rest from this stupid talk. Who got you so tired? First of all, of course, Sid Vicious. Oh my god, the references. He thinks he can get me interested. Having said this, Elisa pretendedly laughed and demonstrated the absurdity of this idea. I'm sorry. Come on, Vitya. Come on. Vitya doesn't seem like a bad dude. I'm not saying that he's bad. He's even good looking, just very intrusive. Kira, you think that everyone around is good, except for your Mark. You hate him so much that you don't even notice the other's flaws. I don't hate him, okay? I just don't give a damn about him. Elisa didn't even argue. She just chuckled in response. By the way, Kira, I'm sorry if I'm being too personal, but what's up with him? While I was contemplating how to politely refuse, Elisa suddenly came to the rescue. I knew you couldn't pass the Bechdel test. Game? Honey? Just because you bring up tropes doesn't mean good writing? Oh boy. I looked at Tonya, and she shrugged. Then I looked at Elisa with a questioning look. Too lazy to tell. Google it later. Oh, or is this to imply that Elisa is just like a constantly online person? Still unsure. Unsure if bad writing or if this is a character flaw where she's just like, I constantly speak in, you know, TV tropes and memes, and I know what a tsundere is because I'm a nerd. Later when? After we're rescued? The last thing I'll remember is your smart ass trying to shine with erudition here. Elisa thought for a few seconds and apparently decided to have mercy on us and share some of her knowledge. This is a test to measure sexism in fiction. You pass if the work contains a scene of dialogue between women who are not talking about men. Oh, so you just wanted to talk about something other than guys? You should have said so then. Can you suggest a topic? Elisa didn't expect this outcome, it seems. It's as good as it's not as it's intended to be. Given the reaction of Tonya, I kind of have to wonder if this is a character flaw of Elisa. Like, she's just this person who's online a lot. Like, it kind of is alluding to her being a nerd. Oh god, we're gonna find out that she writes fan fiction next. I don't mind being silent, actually. Kira, come on then. I started thinking. I was gonna suggest some pleasant topic to distract from disturbing thoughts. I thought of it for a while and decided that the most pleasant thing in winter is the holidays. How are you planning on celebrating the new year? Oh, nothing super interesting here. I was gonna be with my family. I always do that. Like always. Oh, every single time. This is an important tradition. My mother is a big believer in omens. She believes that if we celebrate the new year one day away from each other, then this year will be unsuccessful for our family. And you can laugh, but I also believe it. I think it's cute, even if you don't believe in omens. I thought for a second. It might actually turn out that we won't be rescued for the end of the year. Does that mean Tonya's family tradition will be broken? I hastened to reassure her. I think the most important thing here is how much you want it. If getting together won't work out due to circumstances beyond your control, then the omen is not applicable. I like your explanation. She's gonna be the killer forcing people to act out her fanfictions. Oh no! I hope that I was able to cheer Tonya up. Despite the fact that I didn't know her for very long, it was important for me because I was certain that she would do everything to cheer me up in similar situations. I also felt guilty for choosing a topic in a way that turned out to be very sensitive to Tonya. I am almost okay with having a bad year. Now I only care about getting home and seeing my family and friends again. Oh, do you have a big family? Oh, not really. My mom, my dad, and an elder sister. We're all very close to each other. I'm a little jealous of you. I don't have any siblings, and my relationship with my parents is rather cold. This whole setting seemed very conducive for revelations? When you no longer know what awaits you tomorrow and whether there will be a tomorrow at all, family secrets that I would not easily talk about just stop being so personal. Back, did sex happen? No, but we did uncover that Tonya may be a Potterhead, and Elisa is definitely writing fanfiction. At least she knows TV tropes. She also knows what a tsundere is. Elisa's a nerd. Oh boy. Maybe it's still not too late to fix. I'm sure they're worried. When you get back, all those emotions you've been through might give you an opportunity to fix things. I need to adjust my headset. My ear's killing me. Just as I expected, as soon as I started talking about my worries, Tonya immediately started to comfort me. I must admit, she did it very skillfully. Tonya, are you sure you're not a psychologist? Nope, I do nails. I told you, you remember? She raised her hand and wiggled her fingers. What is the funny word? A psychologist? Strangely enough, Tonya didn't know such a form. Or she just wanted to express her negative attitude towards gender specifications? These sentences are sometimes very weird. Either way, I was not ready for another discussion about femininitives. Plus, I don't know what my companions think about this. And they are not just random people from Twitter, but ones that I depend on for my survival, so I should not start arguing with them under any circumstances. Sometimes this game goes places where I begin to judge the writing. I'm not sure... Do people talk like this? But whatever. Oh, I'm just used to it. All my female psychologist friends call themselves that. I see. Then why didn't you introduce yourself as manageress or managerette? Really? Why? I don't know. Probably that just sounded weird. So we haven't fucked a dude and someone's a Potterhead. This is the worst Pride Month ever. Makes sense. After a few seconds of silence, Tonya and I remembered about Elisa almost simultaneously. She had been silent for a long time, so we decided to check on her. I thought we should at least try to draw her into the conversation. Elisa, how are you going to celebrate New Year's? I expected to hear another toxic phrase or sarcasm as an answer. I was flying to see my friend. Unexpectedly, Elisa answered very short but to the point. Great. And were you going to celebrate New Year's with the company of the friend? No, just with her. You don't speak about it very cheerfully. It's just that, unlike you guys, I don't know how to get it out of my head and enjoy life as if everything is fine. Plus, me and her had a fight recently. But you still decided to visit her. We got into an argument 2 hours before my flight. It was too late to return the damn tickets. Oh, I'm so sorry. She must be a very close friend? Oh! She's gay and a nerd! It's back on, baby! Pride Month is back! We have a chance. Hold on, I have to save. It's been a while since I saved. Too much pop culture referencing just makes the work dated and reduces its audience to try and be relatable to only specific people. Thank you. Thank you. You put it into words that I could not. But yes, she's blushing. Oh my god. The gay. You could say that. You know, where we hang out, we do gal pal things, we do each other's nails, we talk about anime, we make out under the moonlight, those sort of things. Tonya fell silent, and I also decided not to continue. This topic was obviously extremely unpleasant for Elisa. Today, we were lucky on sore topics. We bone! Exactly. On the other hand, for the first time, we also had more or less normal dialogue with her. It was a short and dry, but at least almost with no joking or passive aggressiveness. Suddenly, we had reached the fragment. It seemed to me that we made this faster than last time. Perhaps it was easier because we were well rested and knew where to go, or maybe the time flew by faster because we were talking to each other. There's nothing interesting outside. It seems, let's get inside anyway. You can come inside. I want to take a look. You can come inside. I want to take a look around outside. Okay, I'm sorry, Tonya. It's been a couple of hours since we started this. I know it's kind of a trope, but damn do I love shy romantic gays. Elisa went with me into what's left of the plane. I started my inspection from the shelves for carry-on. Elisa watched me from one of the chairs. Didn't you say you wanted to look for your things? I'm in no hurry. Is she checking us out? Take them now so I don't stumble on them. Here we go. Now we have to look for our personal stuff so it's not expropriated for shared use? Expropriated. I decided to start with the carry-on shelves. There were bags in some of them. For some reason, they were all opened. Is it possible that the shelves were already checked on the first day, and my whole idea was meaningless? Tonya walked in. Got something? Nothing useful. How about you? Me neither. Tonya, do you know if anyone already checked the shelves when I was unconscious? Tonya tried to remember. I don't think so. Unless someone did it while I was out. Why do you ask? Well, almost all the bags are open here. The stuff is all around them. Weird. Maybe they were put out on the shelf? People were probably panicking trying to find something in their bags before they fell. I didn't like this explanation, but I decided to remain quiet for now and keep looking. The fragment was not very large, so we searched pretty quickly. I've got no useful findings. In another man's backpack, I found baby shoes, never worn. Probably it was a gift. I remembered one of those stories attributed to Hemingway, and I felt unironically sad because of it for the first time. Whose backpack was this? Is it possible that this was the man who died after hitting his head hard? A banal thought struck me. When death is far away, it doesn't seem so terrible. For some reason, I only realize this now, as if before the brain wouldn't believe that this was all for real. Kira, are you okay? After a short emotional breakdown, I decided that I will keep fighting as long as my physical and mental strength allows. I even thought that this would be the ultimate test of my managerial skills, my ability to unite people and work together even in such hopeless situations. As a child, I used to enjoy Jack London's stories so much, perhaps it meant something. They were considered boyish, so girls my age... I feel like this is unnecessary. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be mean. But, like, sometimes in writing, you don't really need to go this many layers deep. The situation kind of doesn't call for it. I don't know. Do we need to know that she liked to read Jack London stories? Does it contribute to the game? I'm being mean. I'm sorry. Ugh. They were considered boyish, so girls my age read Jane Eyre and Pride and Prejudice, while I was picturing myself as a character in Love of Life, going insane and starving but continuing to fight. In the cozy Moscow coffee shops and open space offices, all that had been forgotten, but now this was remembered again. I'm fine, Tonya. We'll definitely get out of here. I'll do my best. What happened to you? I like your attitude, though. I also believe we can do it. A moment of self-motivation. You can say that. Better than being a pessimist. I'm a realist. All pessimists say that. Watch the killer ask you trivial questions about the characters and then kill whoever you get the question wrong on. Oh no! I wasn't aware there was gonna be a test! I took the shoes. If we survive, I want to find the family of the man who bought them and hand them over. Elisa noticed it. Did you really convince yourself that we'll be back so soon that you even decided to take up family planning? While I was thinking about what to say, Elisa suddenly changed her face. Apparently she understood my motives. Okay, stupid joke. Never mind. There were a couple of bags on the seat. One of them had wet wipes and a chocolate bar in it. God, I am scared of people that eat like that. The chocolate was bitten. This is the first time I'd seen someone eat a chocolate bar without breaking the tiles, but just biting through it. But the bite was quite large. Chat, write down in the chat if you break up the chocolate bar into pieces, or if you just bite the shit out of that thing. What is Tonya's favorite book series? Ah, shit. I know it's not Pride and Prejudice. She was too busy reading boyish books and imagining going insane and starving on islands to read girlish books. Sometimes I break it apart and sometimes I chomp. Yep. It's easier just to bite. I even felt uncomfortable, but I immediately convinced myself that this was stupid. No need to do eat shaming. Tonya raised her hands as if to say, okay, okay. The second bag on the armchair was mine. How did I forget to take it? In Moscow, leaving the house without a bag begins to feel like phantom pain, as if I went out for a walk without a part of my body. I even bite Kit Kats without breaking them. I also bite Kit Kats without breaking them. If breaking requires 2 hands and I'm that's fair. That is very fair. Fold it in half and eat the whole damn thing. Hey, Bruda! Welcome in, hon! Bruda, when you get a chocolate bar, do you break it into the tiles or do you just take a bite out of the chocolate bar? This is a very important question. You have to answer in the next 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. Time's up. Okay. Throw Bruda in the pit. He's failed. Bruda has failed. I bite the rectangle pieces. A late entry. A very late entry. But I suppose I will take it. I am a merciful clown. The other is busy playing Angry Birds. There's nothing special in the bag, though. My cold spray, some cash, documents, a phone charger. I took my bag and got ready to leave, but the object lying on the nearby chair caught my attention. What's this? Finding an empty jar, I did not immediately understand what it was, but seeing the lid and pills inside lying nearby, I remembered my painkiller. It looks like an empty jar. Why? Tonya stared at me with surprise while I was examining the jar in surprise. I myself did not understand my reaction, but I felt like something was clearly wrong here. I remembered the rubber duck debugging method that I'd heard from one of my programmer colleagues. If you cannot understand what is wrong with some part of code, then try and explain how it works to a person or even an inanimate object. I learned about that in college. I was late. The delay due to time zone. Who's Tonya? This is Tonya, right here. The programmer who came up with this method, for example, game. Can we please talk? You don't need to do this. You don't need to explain every little thing. Honey, I believe you. I know what it is. You can just go. I'm sorry. Talked about his code to a rubber duck. In the process of explaining, you can say something that seemed obvious but was not in active memory before and find the cause of the bug. I decided that Tonya would be my rubber duck. Look, this is my bottle of painkillers. Now what? Are you worried they spilled out? No, I mean, yes, I'm a bit worried. I get migraines and it's really hard without my pills, so I took them on board with me just in case, but that's not the point. What is? This person's got like 20 book reports while making this game and accidentally put them all in. Well, how did they spill out? Tonya clearly did not understand what I was leading to. It fell and crumbled. What's so strange about that? Well, look. I showed her the jar. It's closed really tight. I remember making sure it was closed a few times before putting it in the front pocket of the chair. Maybe it was damaged? No, look, it's in perfect condition. Tonya took the jar in her hand and began to examine it. Could one of us have opened it? Took a pill, for example? If the jar was on the chair while I was sleeping, I would have definitely noticed if it was open when I woke up, and after no one touched it for sure, at least we came back here. I glanced at Elisa. Perhaps she took the medicine when we were looking at the contents of the shelf? Don't look at me. Firstly, I already said that I don't take someone else's stuff. And secondly, even if I took it, I would immediately put it up. I'm sorry, I would immediately admit it and would not silently listen to your reasoning. I'm not like that kid to be doing such pranks. By kid, she meant Nick. For some odd reason, Elisa didn't like him very much. Then who? I was afraid that they would laugh at me, but it seemed that both Tonya and Elisa took my anxiety seriously. It seems to me that there are three options. Either somehow opened up from the below, and there are still survivors here. Okay, goddamn. Clown, keep it together. Ugh. You've got a little while to go before this chapter ends. Come on. Either it's somehow opened up from the blow, or there are still survivors here, or these are representative of the local fauna. Apparently there are some animals in this area. Someone heard sounds last night. Perhaps some animals can open jars, but this is not the case, so let's get rid of the third version right away. Firstly, I don't see any teeth marks, and secondly, look, how many chapters are there? I don't actually know. I actually don't know. This just said, like, the first part of the game, so I didn't expect it to be this long, but I actually don't know how long this first part of the game is. So we may end up having to do a two-parter tomorrow before we play another game. I took the jar from Tonya and closed it. After that, I showed that you can't open it easily. You must first press the lid lightly. This is done for child safety so they don't accidentally open the jar and eat the pills. Where's the saxo? I don't have it. Some animals in the area, like raging lesbians. Is it Tony? No, sadly it's not Tony. I'm convinced now an animal couldn't open it. Well, unless it's very smart. I laugh nervously. Very smart animals, just what we needed. Now, about opened by itself. Throw it so that it opens. Tony, god damn it! Tonya made several attempts. The jar, of course, did not open, but after Tonya's last, most furious throw, a scratch appeared on it. Well, it seems that there are other survivors. Probably they've been here, decided that it would not be possible to stay here, and went further so they could not find the tail. It's only strange that they didn't take anything, or almost any... Oh my god, keep it together, clown! It's only strange that they didn't take anything, or almost anything. They just tossed everything around. And why would they just take the pills and not the pill bottle? Like, they just have, like, 20 pills jangling in their pocket? What? There better be a gay love scene before the chapter ends or we riot. I promise you, I will find you a gay game for tomorrow. I swear on my life. Maybe they approve of Elisa's idea that it's sinful to be taking things from the dead. Did I say it was a sin? I just said that I'm against it because unlike you, I have principles. If you say so. Kira, shall we look for the people who've been here? 1 second. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. I desperately want something to happen. I've got pills that jingle, jangle, jingle. Like I said, homie, 811. Okay, oh look. We do have to try and find them. They may need our help. I want to help them too, but how are we going to find them? The footprints were already wiped out, so no idea where to go. Maybe we can go back and rest and send out a search party in that direction. We were planning to look for luggage anyways. I don't mind. My decision was pointless. Tonya agreed, but it felt like she thought that it was pointless. Or is she as well hesitant because of something else? Had enough playing detective there, or are you ready to head back? Elisa's voice seemed to bring me back to the real world, where it's cold, scary, and hungry. Yes, let's go. Enough of this. Oh, okay. We're getting through this chapter, and then after that, we will call it for the night. Mark made a map of the area a couple of days ago. Oh, it's been a couple of days, and the rescuers still haven't shown up? Wow, we are boned. You know, I think this game's dev probably should have just made a webtoon. They may have, you never know. Mark made a map of the area a couple of days ago. Since then, several search parties of 2 or 3 people went to look for the front of the plane and the luggage. We haven't found anything yet, but at least now we've got a goal that is a little less abstract than just surviving. Actually, shouldn't a goal... I don't know if it would work, but in a situation like this, would finding the radio in the cockpit of the plane be useful at all? Like, if you could somehow power it, do you think you'd be able to, like, get in contact with people? Surely it has a better signal than your phone. This morning, I said I wanted to go on a search, too, and Mark called me along. I was looking forward to the hike, which I thought would save me from boredom. But Mark still couldn't finish getting ready, continuing to look at and mark something on his homemade map. Are you coming soon? In like 5 minutes. You said that about 15 minutes ago. Mark took his eyes off the map. That was basically a notepad sheet taped with Mitress's tape and looked in my direction angrily. I have an idea of where the luggage might be. Let me finish. It was strange seeing Mark angry. I decided not to distract him anymore. I didn't want to sit in the plane either, so I went outside. I expected to find smokers at the entrance, but instead I saw Tonya and Kira coming back from somewhere. Hey Nick, going somewhere? Mark and I are going to look for luggage, but he's busy working on his map. No, if Mark starts working on something, he forgets all of his promises. He'll probably be waiting for a long time, like 2 or 3 hours. Hearing it, Tonya sighed and rolled her eyes. Where did you come from, by the way? Also, came for your luggage? Nope, we had an important task. We were looking for people who might have been to the center. Center meant the central wreckage of the plane, and camp as the backside. It's funny how quickly the new group acquainted... oh my god. I thought the radio had its own emergency power supply just in case of such an event. Should also have flares. Yeah, shouldn't we be finding the cockpit? I mean, maybe they already have, but I feel like that should be a top priority. Center meant the central wreckage of the plane, and the camp as the backside. It's funny how quickly a group of newly acquainted people can come up with new words. So did you find it? No, but we came across footprints, and not even human footprints. I remembered the sound Vitya and I had heard a few days ago, and my heart raced. And what were they? Dogs, most likely, though Tonya claims the opposite. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's something else. You know, my mom is the biggest dog person, and I love dogs too, and I know all about them. These tracks don't look like dog tracks, but these tracks do look like dog tracks, but there's something wrong with them. They're longer and the pads aren't the same. And there's also 5 toes on the paws. Werewolves? Ooh, sexy gay werewolves, maybe? Oh God, please send me a sign. Anything, I beg you. I thought someone was flying with a dog. It survived the fall and is running around somewhere right now. But since Tonya is so sure, I must have been wrong. Big gay werewolves. I can only hope and pray. I would assume that it's something from local fauna, but we kind of decided that no animals live here. Maybe it's some other pet? Something more exotic? Like what? Let's say a raccoon. Uni! He took down the plane, didn't he? Well done, Nick. Good point. Raccoons do have 5 toes on their front legs, in fact. I was afraid my assumption would be absurd, so I was pleasantly surprised by Tonya's praise. She wouldn't question the fact that someone could take a raccoon on a flight from Moscow to Barnaul. A Unibomber. Anyway, whoever that was, I feel very sorry for it. The flight alone must have been very stressful for animals, and then there's this, and now he's wandering around somewhere all alone. Is Uni going to activate the 18+ patch? God, I hope not. God, send me werewolves instead. I'll probably go look for it again. I'm with you, but let's rest first, okay? Tonya reluctantly agreed. I heard someone come out from behind me. It was Mark. Finally! Hey, Tonya. Hi, Kira. Hi, Mark. Kira went silent, quite expected of her. What is their deal? What if Mountain Keanu is the werewolf? Oh my god, please. Shall we go? Come that way. Mark checks his map one last time. Do you know who Mark reminds me of? Mark kind of reminds me of Rio. They both have the same dead eyes. And put it in his pocket. The first hike for luggage begins. Yup. Then Mark fell silent, thinking, and after a few seconds his face lit up. Nick, you want a joke? Hey, who's the clown here, Mark? Who's the fucking clown here? We're going on a hike to find luggage, so who are we? He looked at me as if expecting me to come up with an answer, and I shook my head. Cargonauts! Boo, you suck! Having said that, he laughed so hard I laughed too. Konstantin Keanu and Von Helsinki. It's my favorite fanfic. The girl whose name I didn't bother to remember. That would be either Lena or Elisa. Quite genuinely, it was so bad that it was even good. We were already far away from the other search parties when I finally decided to break the silence. Mark? I have distracted him from his thoughts, it seemed. Unlike me, Mark was comfortable with long silences. Can I ask you a question? Yes, of course. Did you and Kira ever date? He seemed a little surprised. Yeah, we did. And you had a bad breakup. He didn't answer my question, but he slowed his step a little. It was as if he'd been carried away with memories. You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I hurriedly corrected the awkward pause. Oh, there's nothing secret about it. Our breakup was indeed unpleasant. It was my fault. He fell silent again. Mark seemed to be an interesting but reserved person. I was curious to know more about him, but I couldn't find the right question. Eventually, to my relief, he decided to continue on his own. I can tell you if you're interested by any chance. I nodded. Well, Kira and I went to the same university. She was a year younger. We met at a birthday party for my classmate, who also happened to be her dorm roommate. So you're her senpai. Oh my god, Nick, you fucking nerd. Very funny, but yeah, I guess I am. Nick, this is coming from me, and I love anime. Stop. For some reason, I was sure Mark knew the meaning of the word. I wasn't wrong. Oh god, Mark's a nerd too. Nerds everywhere, as far as the eye can see. We were faced with the choice of going downhill and finding a bypass. The downhill itself was only about 4 meters high, but very steep, almost vertical. Down? Yeah, come on. None of us have been down there yet. Can you handle the descent? Are you kidding? I have the power of God and anime on my side. It'll be a little hard to climb back up, but it's a piece of cake to get down there. I liked Mark, partly because he treated me like an equal. He didn't think of me as a child to be patronized. He listened to my opinions, and yet sometimes he underestimated me. I'll go first. As you wish. I approached the descent and carefully touched the ledge with my feet, and in a minute I was already down there, waiting for Mark. His attempt at climbing wasn't very successful. He stumbled and fell into the snow from a height about 2 meters. Mark stood up and shook off his clothes. You won't tell anyone about this fiasco. What's in it for me? Nick, that wasn't a question. That was an order. I finished the story. Oh, deal. We kept going over the map. So we dated for about 6 months, and at first Kira often tried to get me out of the house, finding all sorts of interesting activities, constantly calling me out. I also took the initiative, but much less often since I was writing my diploma thesis at the time and was also busy studying. Over time, these attempts gradually stopped. We saw each other 2 or 3 times a month, talking mostly in VK. A week before graduation, I stopped replying to her messages. Why couldn't you ask her to give you time? I don't know. I didn't give a shit about anything at all at the time. I was just living in my studies and constantly thinking about my future academic career. So on the 7th day of the 44th unanswered message, she finally blacklisted me. That was the day before my defense. You know what? Good for her. I would have fucking kicked you to the curb too, Mark. Sucks. Yeah, I'm really ashamed of it all now. I was then, too, though. After the defense, I tried to find her and apologize, but in the end, I realized that even if she forgave me, a similar situation could happen again, and I just didn't want that. We haven't seen each other since then. Well, you're a weirdo, and Kira's a cool person. I'm not arguing. She's really cool. Cool. Cool? Cool. Beautiful and interesting to talk to. It's just that science has always been more important than relationships, and I haven't learned how to combine both. You're like Sheldon. Oh my god. No, I'm not that obsessed with science. Although, if I'm not mistaken, even Sheldon ended up finding himself a girlfriend. Maybe it isn't all lost for me either. I laughed. Maybe, in fact, I can see why Kira's been hating you so much. Maybe she has every right to. Nick, where are you going to apply for studies? Billy, I'm out! God damn it, what is this game? Every time I think I know where we're going, it takes its cock out and it slaps me across the face with another reference. And I just don't know how much more I can take. Mark's decided to change the subject. I don't know yet. Any recommendations? I can't decide that. I need to know which subjects are easier for you and which you like. Oh, I'm doing well in all my classes at school. With mathematics, maybe a little better than the others. I even made it to the regional stage of the Olympiad. The Olympiad? The Olympiad. So you're more of a techie. Sharingan. Stop. I guess so. That said, my favorite subject is literature. What about you? Are you also a techie? Nick totally writes fan fiction. Well, it's all very relative. But I think economists are something in between tech and humanities. One of the touch points. Oh god, he's an economics. He's an economist. Oh my god. I like economics too, but our economics teacher is a mean, useless old woman. Bad luck. I stopped to catch my breath. My face was already sore from the cold. The game does what now? You heard me. My face was already sore from the cold and my legs were sore from fatigue. I also felt like I was getting sick. Oh, Nick is dying. We're gonna eat the 15-year-old first. Tired? Let's take another 10 minutes, and if we don't find anything, we'll go back. Yeah, okay. I pulled myself together and we got going. Nick, do you have any hobbies? Oh no, one of those questions again. I was just getting over my stress of not having to tell you about myself by Kira's request. I was just getting over the stress of having to tell you about myself by Kira's request. Okay, never mind. I just can't read. Mark apparently guessed my train of thought and hurried to explain. If there's nothing specific, then say so. And if anything, it's totally fine if your hobbies are something like watching Netflix shows or playing FIFA. Not everyone collects stamps. Do I have a hobby? I don't think there's anything in particular. What do I do in my spare time? Small Sheldon out here dying of hypothermia. Minecraft. What are you studying? What are you going to college for, Nick? Minecraft. Well, I like games. What kind? Oh, any kind. I like computer games, word games, sports, board games. I just like to play. I like when there are rules and when you can win. Interesting. I think that sounded really dumb. I'd rather say something like I watch TV shows in the evening or read books. It turns out your hobby is my job. Excuse me, sir? What are you talking about? Oh my god. Do you... Oh my god, do you work for Nintendo? Try to guess. I paused. Nothing suitable came to mind. Maybe you're a therapist who treats gambling addicts? Oh, do you see a lot of gacha players? I bet you do. Big Bang Theory, Lord of the Flies crossover. My hobbies are Harry Potter, generic anime, Young Sheldon, Big Bang Theory, Minecraft Education Edition, reading the Thesaurus, and fapping to pictures of Einstein. I think my assumptions were funny for him. A good guess, but what kind of therapist can I be? I could use therapy myself. Actually, I work at a university. I teach game theory. Oh my god, it's Matt Pat. Oh my god, this game's gonna fucking be the end of me. I can't. Oh my god. Oh shit. Repeat, the cloud is down. We're gonna have Matthew the dick down. We are not fucking Matt Pat. Oh my god. Actually, I work at a university. I teach game theory. What do your students call you? By your name or your patronymic? Mark. Eugevich. Eugevich? No, they call me Mr. Mark. Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier, and welcome to the Russian wasteland. Today we'll be trying to survive. Oh, God. Maybe I should do it, too. If you enroll in our university and take my class, then yes. Though that would be unnecessary. We walked in silence for a while longer. Mark, why don't we take a break? Again, Nick? Yes, I was just going to suggest that myself. I mean, Markiplier is supposedly the king of Five Nights at Freddy's, so I guess it all leads back to FNAF after all. We took a break. This place wasn't the best. There was nothing around but snow. We picked a spot where the snow was harder so we wouldn't fall in. I noticed that we were silent again for a long time. The hardest thing about my conversations with Mark is finding the right subject to talk about. If it works out, it goes on smoothly. So what's game theory all about? Well, I guess my question was really stupid, but I couldn't think of anything better. Mark thought for a few seconds. About games. Only a game in this case is any interaction between people. So games in the usual sense of the word are also included. Well, yes, almost all of them. But game theory creates models in the first place, so you can find references to the simplest games like rock, paper, scissors, or head and tails. But you could also certainly can't find tasks about... What? Hold on, where did my words go that I can't follow? So you can find references to the simplest games like rock, paper, scissors, or head or tails, but you almost certainly can't find tasks about Contract Bridge or League of Legends, the worst game. I see, so how are they studied? They create formula models for them. which are used to balance out an balance and optimal tactics. Have you heard of the prisoner's dilemma, for example? It's probably the most mainstream. I've heard of it, but only in general terms. He brought up damn League. I know, right? He brought up the League. Good, then I'll tell you more. Hello? What? Mark started to explain, and I imagined I was in a big classroom listening to the lecture. Let's suppose two thieves were caught at the same time for similar crimes. I did something to my voice when I broke down. They're taken to two different rooms and offered the following deal. If they testify, they will be released for helping the investigation. Sorry to interrupt, but can the criminal be released just for cooperating? He started an episode. Oh my god, he started an episode of Game Theory. Oh my god. I don't think so. So let's see if I can do a Matt Pat impression. Here we go. Okay, I don't think so. They will probably just soften the sentence, but you do realize that it's just a model, right? I'll get to a real-life example a little bit later. Yeah, sure, I was just wondering, will you continue? The cops believe that they were acting by prior agreement, and so, in the case, criminals usually get more severe punishments. But when they commit the crimes without compliances. So, if one testifies and the other keeps quiet, the latter gets the maximum sentence of 10 years. Is the crime specific in the problem? Not in the canonical one, if I remember correctly. I've heard of a bank robbery version, but I don't like it. Oh, too bad. Back to the dilemma. If both testify against each other, they both get jailed for 2 years. If they both keep quiet, they'll be judged for less serious crimes and will get 6 months each. What would you do? Oh, I don't know. You can keep quiet if you're sure about the accomplice. You can't be sure by the rule. You can't be sure of him by the rules of the task. Let's say you're not too close friends with him. All the other things being equal, you want less time for each other, but you both want freedom. Well, better to testify then, I guess. But that's kind of sad. Good for you. The dominant strategy in this task is to testify. But there's an important clarification. If the game is played repeatedly, the situation changes. Oh, how exactly? In the iterated prisoner's dilemma, it becomes more advantageous to cooperate. In it, it is more correct not to betray, and not to be jealous, that is, not to try and score more points than the opponent. Interesting, so in a game like this, it becomes helpful to be good? Exactly. I really like this variation of the game, as it shows that even a person guided solely by selfless motives can be really kind and forgiving. I like the idea too, but at the same time there was something missing. Have you played The Evolution of Trust? Maybe I have, but I don't remember the name. It's a game about a game theory by Nikki Case. No, I haven't played it. I always proudly called myself a gamer, although I wouldn't obsessively play a certain game over and over like most of my classmates did. I played everything. I was familiar with basically all more or less popular games. I thought I was the biggest nerd in games and memes, so it really upset me that the dude who had dedicated his whole life to academics and sciences was playing a game that I never heard of. In short, it's a short but very cool game. It talks about one of the types of prisoner dilemmas. Negative A machine gives the person 3 coins if you drop 1 and vice versa. This game is like a visual novel. Oh god, does this have something to do with this? Not really, but sort of. I feel like I'm being spoiled for something here. Maybe. I don't know. Not really, but sort of. It shows very clearly that in a reoccurring prisoner's dilemma, it's important not only to be kind, but unenvious, but also to be able to take revenge. So if the other player didn't drop a coin, you won't drop one either. No, what you described is called a trigger strategy. The counterplay cheats once you're no longer willing to cooperate with them. It's ineffective. Sometimes you have to be forgivable. You can take- I can't keep doing it. You can take your revenge once and go back to cooperating if the counterparty realizes their mistake. Now the puzzle seems to have come together. Without the vindictiveness, it seemed that people who were always willing to cooperate with everyone would benefit, but that's obviously not the case. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Shall we go? Yes, please. I don't know how long we've been sitting there, but my feet were starting to freeze, and it took some effort to get up. Can you tell me about any other models? I swear to God, game, if you fucking send me into another classroom, I will fucking shut you down. Sure, don't you dare, you bitch! It's calling my bluff! Just as usual, just as useful and applicable in real life as the last one. There was only half a joke. Life is certainly more complicated than these games models, but there was something about repeated a prisoner's dilemma that made it seem more like a fable than a problem. Motherfucker, I was not joking. We're done. I'm done for the night. I can't. Okay, I will not have my bluff called. Bitch. You son of a bitch. Yeah, you're saved. I'll talk to you later. I'll come back to you. God damn it. Let's find someone to raid. Ah! Oh my god. They did not send me back to the classroom to talk about game theory. Motherfucker. Holy shit. Oh my god. Who's online? Oh my. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll finish that tomorrow. Maybe. Maybe. I'll find another game too that's a little bit less tedious to play through. So that we can just have fun and everything. I don't think I like this. I don't think I like it either. But I hate leaving things undone. Thank you, Seth, for the 10 counts. I appreciate you rubbing salt in my wounds. Alright. Who is online? Alright, let's see here. Isel is playing Diablo 4. Sin is just chatting. Gibby is playing